Lee Johnson's got to try and summon that energy now and try to get back into that groove. But this is a difficult place to come and restart things. Roddy mentioned the enormous, huge flag that covered both tiers of the stand away to our left-hand side. I was wondering, in these temperatures, might they leave it up there as long as possible, acting as a sort of a massive sleeping bag. But now it is unfurled, the sleeping bag is dragged down, and underneath, Rangers fans with admirable precision have come out and made up a mosaic. They're wearing these plastic ponchos, blue, white, some of them black, to draw out the design away to our left-hand side. And now the flares come out, and it really feels a statement here. It's telling Hibs they are coming away from home to a very big club tonight.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And what a sight. I mean, after a month off to come to Ibrox and see this is them back in the team, but they need to go and put on a good performance now.
Yeah, I know there's responsibility around pyrotechnics and the authorities don't really like them in the football ground, but that is adding a little bit of heat as what must be close to 100 of those red flares is burning bright away to our left hand side. We're underway, 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight at Ibrox in Sub-Zero Glasgow. Under pressure right from the start. James Sands stumbled a little bit and then regained his composure, and John Lundstrom, the former Sheffield United midfielder who's slotting in at centre half today. There's a shortage of defenders for Rangers. He'll play alongside James Sands. Tavernier at right back as always, and Adam Devine. Big day for the teenager, the 19-year-old, his first league appearance of the season. Borna Barisic has played in every other league game so far this campaign before today, but of course he's been away at the World Cup with Croatia. He'll be back next week, and young Adam Devine gets to play left back. So Lundstrom is operating in that location at the moment, the left-hand side of the Rangers defence, and rolls it infield to Sands once again, who's on loan from New York FC. Rangers in their traditional blue shirts, white shorts, black socks, playing from right to left. They attack down the right-hand side. Marian Cabrera is back there, the Croatian, and he helps it back to the goalkeeper, David Marshall, who'll clear the ball away. Smell of sulphur in the air, smoke being illuminated like fog in the floodlights. And it's Rangers 0, Hibs 0.
I think the most interesting thing that I've seen so far is actual Hibs have lined up in a back four and Porteous is in the midfield. Rangers against Bayer Leverkusen, they played Kent in the number 10 position, so it looks like Porteous is going to go and try and match Kent and stifle him and his ability to get into those pockets of space and make things happen. So I think that will be an interesting matchup this evening.
Last time these sides met was back in August. It finished 2-2 at Easter Road, and it was an eventful game, to say the least. Rangers took the lead through a James Tavernier penalty. Hibs equalised for 1-1 through Martin Boyle. Then Rangers got a 2-1 lead. Then they had 2 players sent off, John Lundstrom and Alfredo Morelos. And against 9 men, Hibs were able to grab a 90th minute dramatic equaliser from Josh Campbell to snatch a 2-2 draw. We would take that sort of drama and excitement here tonight. Possession for Jack Ryan in the middle of the midfield for Rangers, playing from right to left as we look down. Lundstrom up over the halfway line with an outstretched palm, which is the universal footballer language for give me more options. And a press here from Hibs forces Rangers to retreat, and then Sands plays the ball over the top. Morelos tries to get into the penalty area, collides with Rocky Bashiri, and there was all sorts of shouts as he fell into the penalty area. However, the flag was raised to the far side and Morelos was offside. Free kick to Hibs.
I think it's a one good thing out of John Lundstrom playing as a centre back, that he will come out with the ball, he will see passes forward, and there's Morelos. That's what we're used to seeing with him, making that spin in behind, being a problem, being a nuisance, but he just goes that slight second too early and he's caught offside.
Former Rangers player Alan Hutton alongside us this evening on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And David Marshall has literally tucked the ball up his shirt just to wipe some of the icy dew off it, and he's also throwing away some, I don't think it's anything, I think it's just a little piece of paper, little bits of ticker tape that were thrown onto the pitch by Rangers fans. Maybe I'm being naive, maybe it was something else, but I don't think so. It looks like it's just little pieces of paper, something like that, and he's throwing them up. Well, and actually now he's taking so much care doing it, I'm beginning to wonder, is it something else? He's saying that you can't play, whatever those little yellow items are on the pitch, he's saying you can't play with them on there. So presumably they're not just little pieces of paper.
It looks like something that's just been rolled up, like tiny little balls or whatever. I mean, we get drenched with the confetti coming down from above us at the start, so I think it's kind of the same that's just been rolled up, but he's taking his time about it.
Well, he's treating them like high explosives here, the way he wants the whole place to be cleared out. And maybe it's a little bit of gamesmanship, maybe using his experience here, David Marshall, to take some of the fizz of the Rangers' excitement here for the first game of the new manager. That said, the referee now has called on ground staff to clear out, so I think those were firmer objects. We'll try and get some confirmation that something was thrown onto the pitch and Marshall felt it was unsafe to play. And now with the assistance of about 12 of the ground staff here at Ibrox, they've very quickly been able to hoover them up, and now play can get back underway with that free kick for the offside decision. So Rangers line up with Alan McGregor still going strong. He turns 41 next month. He's the oldest player in the Scottish Premiership, but he has been for I think 3 years ago he was the oldest player in the Scottish Premiership. He still has that tally. James Tavernier, James Sands, John Lundstrom and Adam Devine at the back. Glenn Camara and Ryan Jack in the middle of the midfield. Then Fashion Sakala, Malik Tillman the American, and Ryan Kent playing behind Morelos the Colombian, who's the centre forward up top. The Hibs team in just a moment. They're attacking down the left hand side with Cabrera. Gets to within 5 or 6 yards of the Rangers penalty area, but it's neatly mopped up there. Back to McGregor, who right footed clears it up towards the halfway line, and then it's controlled just about by Ryan Kent, who's got the short sleeves and very heavy gloves. Those are goalkeeper waist gloves, not just light woolly gloves for Ryan Kent, who's making every effort here to keep his hands warm. And just looking around his teammates, him and Morelos and maybe Sakala, they're the only ones wearing the gloves tonight, most of them hardy guys.
It's one I've never really understood, the old short sleeves and gloves one. I thought maybe both, then fine.
Indeed. Tavernier's attempt to cross from the right hand side, picks out Sakala in the centre, tried to control it with his back to goal, and it was taken away from him by Paul Hanlon, and Hibs were able to clear away up towards the halfway line. This is 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 6 minutes on the clock inside Ibrox. 0-0 between Rangers and Hibs. The return of the Scottish Premiership after the World Cup break, as Chris Cadden attacks down the right hand side for Hibs, wearing the green and white, and he's tackled by Adam Devine, the 19-year-old, and the ball goes out of play. So quickly the Hibs teams: David Marshall is the goalkeeper, Porteous, Bashiri and Hanlon a back three, Cadden and Cabrera the wing backs, Campbell, Newell, McGuinness in the middle of the midfield, and Kevin Nesbitt. Big day for him, first appearance of the season, first appearance since February, starting after that ACL injury. Chance for Hibs, shot comes in, well struck by Eliouad, and it's touched over by McGregor for a corner. That's the first shot in anger of the game, and it's a Hibs attempt that was just saved.
Yeah, it's a good cross into the box, and Ewan he takes a really good touch on his right just to open up the angle, and he tries to take it really early to catch Alan McGregor off. But to be fair, you're going to need a better strike than that from that distance to beat someone of his calibre, but he does well, pushes it over the bar for a corner kick.
Rangers have yet to concede a headed goal this season in the Premiership. They've yet to concede a goal from a corner in the league. This is the first corner of this evening. It's an in-swinger from the right hand side, and it's into the back of the net. Ryan Porteous sent off against Rangers twice in the last 3 seasons, but he rose like an NBA basketball player there, and he sets off at a 250 yard run down the other end to slide in the corner in front of the Hibs fans. That is the definition of a commanding header, and Rangers, who've defended those so well all season, well, it was a free header, and the defending has got to be analysed there. Rangers 0, Hibs 1, 7 minutes played.
First and foremost, it's an outstanding ball into the box. I mean, Newell's in swinger with the left foot right into the danger area, middle of the 6 yard box, and Porteous is up like a salmon. There's nobody round about him. I mean, we haven't got a replay to see who was actually marking him, but it was an unbelievable leap, head and shoulders above absolutely everybody, and just powers it into the back of the net. Nothing Alan McGregor could do there.
Last time that these sides played each other here, Rangers scored very early. This time round it's Hibs. Let's bring in Roddy for sight. Roddy.
I should just add to anybody who doesn't know that Ryan Porteous has declined to sign a new deal with Hibs, and one of the clubs who are reportedly interested in him is Rangers. Right,
well there you go, in the shop window and certainly making his presence felt. Ryan Porteous, Hibs releasing that statement back end of last month saying that he wouldn't be signing a new contract, and he's only 23 years of age. It's a fantastic header he scored there. It's down the other end. Sakala puts pressure on David Marshall, but it will be a goal kick. Hibs fans are bouncing on their seats in the far corner. This is just the start that they would have wanted. For Michael Beale, though, first game in charge of Rangers. He'll have gone to bed last night, Alan. He'll have been hoping that this sort of thing didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just seeing the replay there. It's actually a free jump. There's not a soul round about him. So it's something Michael Beale is not going to be happy about. But I was just laughing there. I was watching Ryan Porteous after that big charge to his own fans. I think he needs an oxygen mask or 5 minutes to get back and get his breath back.
Do you know, the most recent memory I can think of someone that deliberately running from one end to the other. Do you remember when Adebayor scored against Arsenal for Manchester City? As Sakala here is fouled in a free kick to Rangers. He was down the other end. That, of course, comically, if that's the way you want to look back at it, was to run and to celebrate in front of the opposition fans. This time Ryan Porteous was off with his cross-country running to celebrate in front of his own supporters. Here's Ryan Kent breaking into the penalty area, taken down on the edge of it. Referee waves play on, and that's not gone down well with the Rangers fans. Josh Campbell was the player who made the challenge, and Tavernier is running after the referee here to continue the protest. Tonight's referee Nick Walsh, but no free kick to Rangers. And a free kick in fact to Hibs, and a chance for them to clear their line. Rangers 0, Hibs 1 here on 5 Live.
It did originally look like a foul at first glance. I thought Kent done really well cutting in from the left hand side, doing what he does, going by players. Maybe a little bit soft. I was wondering if the ref just allowed play to go on, because Rangers still had possession of the football in the box, but Hibs done well to clear.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like that, but there was no advantage, was there? Almost immediately they lost the ball, and the referee didn't flinch in coming back to analyse that further. Ball out of play on the far side for a throw into Rangers, who are looking to come from behind here on this icy evening at Ibrox. The return of top flight football in Scotland. Next week, the return of the EFL. We'll have games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, including Manchester United back in action against Burnley on Wednesday. You can hear that game on 5 Live. And Manchester City against Liverpool is next Thursday, which will be just days after the World Cup final. This is Adam Devine, left-hand side for Rangers. Under pressure though, and they've done that well. Kyle McGuinness with the press there. Hibs have not allowed Rangers to settle around that central third, and they forced quite a few rush passes. Here's a cross, right-footed into the penalty area, but Marshall, wearing all bright pink, was able to come and easily gather. Yeah,
I think the best thing about Hibs at this moment in time, they are trying to get forward and make things happen, but when Rangers have the ball and they are moving it relatively slow, it's allowing the Hibs team to get back into two banks of 4, and the strikers are dropping in. It's not leaving them much space, and this is the problem Rangers had before under the previous manager, where it wasn't quick enough. They weren't able to break the line, so it's kind of similar at this moment in time, but real test for Michael Beale already, first game.
If you're just joining our coverage here, Michael Beale, who was Stephen Gerrard's assistant here, 12 times they played Hibs in that spell. They didn't lose any of those games. But now he is back after a successful period at Queen's Park Rangers. He'd been in South America coaching too. He'd been assistant to Gerrard at Villa for a spell, and he's come in to be the main man now. We heard him on 5 Live in the build-up. He's very, very confident, Michael Beale. But this is only his 23rd game as a senior manager himself. His team have got defending to do, as Hibs have got a throw in 10 yards for the corner flag down the right hand side. Chris Catton has gone down to take. Hibs Player of the Year last season. Good throw into the area and blistered over the top by Porteous. Well, he was challenged in the box. Hibs players are wondering if there's any case that might have been a penalty as he put his laces through it. Ryan Porteous has been injured in the delivery of that shot. There's a Rangers player down too, but the ball fizzed over the top, and it wasn't far away from being Porteous' second goal of the match.
No, it definitely wasn't. And the thing, it comes from a throw-in on this right-hand side. It's taken quickly into Porteous. He's already in the box. He's got one thing in his mind, that can I get a shot off? And he does. He hits it really well, and it's Tillman. Malik Tillman comes across and tries to make the block. He does catch him after he hits the shot over the bar. The follow-through catch him. You're not going to get a foul for that. I mean, he's going to try and block the ball, but the worrying thing is that's Porteous twice been in the box free. Yeah. He's playing that midfield role quite well. He's getting forward, but he's doing his defensive duties against Kent, so it's someone they're going to have to watch.
Yeah, he's wincing. It's a cold night to get a clatter like that as two players collided full-blooded into each other there. Porteous, whose header, if you just joined us from a corner, gave the lead to Hibs right at the start of this game, and he very nearly doubled to the lead there with a whipped right-footed shot that was not far over the target at all. So he's trying to make his impact as well. He's been telling us a player who's been linked with tonight's opponents. Tillman is back on. Alec Tillman on loan from Bayern Munich. He's played in all but 2 of Rangers League games this season. He's made 4 appearances for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, so they obviously rate him. He's only 20 years of age, a player that they're hoping will mature during his season here in Scotland with Rangers. Here's Glenn Kamara, back to the defender James Sand. His right-footed ball down the right-hand side is nodded on by Tavernier, and he's picked out Tillman just on the edge of the penalty area. Right-hand side as Rangers come forward. That's a brilliant trick, back-heeling it to himself to try and break into the penalty area, but he wasn't able to run onto it. And a bit of solid defending back there. Joe Newell had to be careful in around the edge of the penalty area, but he didn't commit the foul. Rangers get it back on the halfway line. Right-footed ball towards the edge of the Hibs penalty area. Paul Hanlon wins the header, but he hasn't found any distance to clear. Sakala left-footed shot is in, tucked beyond the defender Cannon, beyond the goalkeeper Marshall, and into the bottom corner. That's a very well taken goal. Only his second of the season for Fashion Sakala. 1-1 on a cold night in Glasgow. This game is simmering away nicely now.
Yeah, it's definitely heating up now, isn't it? I mean, Rangers, they've done well. They've kept obviously into the game. They work the ball from right to left into Sakala. You know he's only got one thought in his mind. It's to shift the ball to his left and get a short cross across Marshall. Again, Marshall, there's nothing he can do about that. They just work the ball really well across the box, and it's a great strike into the side net, and nobody's going to save that. But well done to Kent. He's in that number 10 position. He sees Sakala with a better opportunity on the left-hand side. Shift ball, strike into that side net. Great goal.
The goal for the Zambian international is down the other end. Hibs scored direct from the restart. What about this? 3 goals already in the game. Kevin Nisbet on his first appearance since injury in February, immediately from the restart, runs to the edge of the Rangers penalty area and lashes it in beyond Alan McGregor. That's incredible. 16 minutes played, 3 goals already. Hibs lead 2-1, and Michael Beale's tenure as Rangers coach is certainly not going to be quiet.
But this is incredible. I mean, who would have seen this for a start after 60 minutes from the kick-off? I mean, Michael Beale will be absolutely raging down there, but Nisbet, first appearance back obviously in competitive football. What a finish. I mean, on that left-hand side, cuts into the box, great strike. Al McGregor comes out, tries to spread himself, can't get anywhere near it, into the roof of the net. What a start to this game.
Kevin Nisbet, on his first appearance of the season, scores against Rangers now 3 campaigns in a row. Scored here at Ibrox last season, and he scored here the year before as well. Last season he got an early goal, and Hibs ended up losing 3-1 in a game that they went down to 10 men early in. Here they are 2-1 in front, 17 minutes played, and Ewan tries to break through the centre, but Alan McGregor comes well outside of his penalty area and clears it away down the field. And now Sakala's putting pressure on the Hibs defence. He's in again. He tries to shoot. Good defending. Rocky Bashiri stood his ground. And just for a moment, a bit like Julian Alvarez for Argentina the other night, that looked like it was just going to sit up for Sakala. Here come Rangers again. Morelos has crossed on the right hand side. Too many defenders back there, but they can't fully clear. Tillman picks it up just outside the tee, and it's over to Devine now on the left hand side. He's got 4 teammates in the middle, pulls back the cross low, too close to Porteous, who was off balance as he cleared, and he puts it out for a corner. What a game, Alan Hunt.
This is unbelievable. It's so open, both teams absolutely going for it. Rangers aren't obviously changing their style. They're open, they're trying to get goals, but that's leaving spaces for Hibs as well. Devine does well there, cuts back, no takers. Great game, great start.
The goals from Porteous and Nisbet from Hibs, for Sakala for Rangers. Michael Beale still behind in his first game in charge. Here comes the corner, swung in. Porteous gets his head to it. There was pushing at the back post, and that's going to be a free kick to Hibs, just on the edge of their own 6-yard box, and Hibs fans thoroughly enjoying themselves to the far side of the pitch from us. So Rangers are so impressed of how they bounce back to make it 1-1 through Fashion Sakala, but Michael Beale will be really disappointed with the manner in which Hibs were allowed to regain the lead again instantly.
But this is a problem, and this is what I spoke about before the game. Michael Beale spoke about his fullbacks playing high and wide, and right away they get the ball, they try and go forward, they have spaces in behind them where Hibs are trying to exploit quickly. When they win the ball back, they're trying to get wide, and that's exactly what happened.
Rangers 1, Hibs 2, 5 live in the BBC Sounds app. The Scottish Premiership tonight is 8 o'clock kick-off. And don't forget, we've got plenty more live football coming up over the next few days on 5 Live. The World Cup third, fourth place playoff, 3 o'clock on Saturday. We'll bring you more Scottish Premiership action on Saturday too. Aberdeen hosts Celtic, that's the 12:30 game. That'll be live on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and there's a full schedule of Scottish Premiership games on Saturday. Sunday, of course, Argentina against France. The World Cup final live on 5 Live, 3 o'clock kickoff. Rangers have possession in the midfield. Now Ryan Kent, 3-on-3. Choices to make here. Gives it to Morelos. Little bit behind him. Morelos turns well, shoots, couldn't get the tip. Plenty power, but it sails over the top. It remains Rangers 1, Hibs 2.
I think he's taken the wrong option there, Morelos. I mean, it's a good break. Obviously, Jack gets the ball, gives it to Kent. It's probably the first time that he's been in that pocket of space where he's been able to turn and run. Porteous is not beside him. He plays it to Morelos. He makes a great overlap and run. I think if he sees him, he plays him in. He's got a better opportunity like the Sakala goal. He cuts inside on his right, tries to find that far corner, but it's high and wide. Poor decision.
So the last 10 managers for their Rangers' first game in charge in the top flight, only one of them lost the first league game. Graham Murty against Dundee as a caretaker boss in February 2017. Michael Beale would not want to lose this, but his team have now twice been behind in the game. As Chris Cadden is pushed by Morelos on the halfway line, and free kick is given to Hibs. Right in front of the dugouts. Both coaches are down there. Everyone's well wrapped up tonight. Hibs will take their time over the free kick, and such tactics are already getting on the nerves of some of the Rangers fans. There's a long way to go. 20 minutes on the clock.
Can't be time wasting yet after 20.
It could be breather achieving though, I think, from Hibs. I mean, there's definitely delaying on purpose going on here as Cadden takes the free kick, sends it down the right hand side looking for Josh Campbell. Rangers get it back again with Ryan Jack, and they'll be able to clear away. Let's get an update from the Women's Champions League. Arsenal women are playing Lyon this evening at the Emirates. It was also an 8 o'clock kickoff, and Sahil Sahi is watching for us. Sahil.
21 minutes played here, Connor. Still Arsenal 0, Lyon 0. Not really any pattern developing here at the Emirates. Both sides with plenty of possession, but not really lacking any kind of attacking thrust. Arsenal 0, Lyon 0.
And Sahil, I'm right in saying Arsenal go through as long as what? They don't lose by 4, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. And they need to get a point because Juventus have beaten Zurich, so Juventus will be 3 points behind them, but they do need to get a point tonight. It's important if they want to qualify. Otherwise, they still have a game next week, Connor.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Sahil. We'll be back in touch with Sahil Sahi at the Emirates for updates in that game. Arsenal women against Lyon throughout the evening here at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Hibs 2. Hibs goals from Petraeus and Nisbet. As an uncertain Alan McGregor there, when a back pass came to him, he I presume it just bounced awkwardly in front of him, but all he could do was skew it out for a corner to Hibs. They've already scored from one of these.
Yeah, I mean, it was a slack back pass from John Lundstrom there. He's just kind of flicked the ball up high off his right boot, wide of the goal. Al McGregor rushes out to try and get it. It was poor from him. He needs to lay it back better than that, but dangerous.
So the big men are up, as they say. Paul Hanlon is in there, both arms raised in the air. Ryan Porteous, who's great leap at the opening goal of this game. Corner not delivered quite so effectively this time, and Morelos at the front post is able to head it away, and that goes out for a throw into Hibs. They'll remain on the attack. Throw in for the visitors midway inside their opponent's half. These two teams who've played each other so often over the years, and obviously there's the huge Rangers-Celtic rivalry, but Rangers-Hibs is a big rivalry in its own right, and those Hibs fans are enjoying looking up at the big blue scoreboards here at Ibrox and seeing their team in front. Cabrera waits for the signal for the referee, but again there's no great urgency from Hibs. They do appear to be trying to slow things down a little bit to their pace. Joe Newell controls on the chest, wants to put it in front of Eli Johan, but can't get it in front of him. Rangers clear the ball away and it's gone out of play, and that's going to be a throw into Hibs. Again, they remain inside the Rangers half, far side of the pitch from us. Alan Hutton.
Yeah, I think obviously at this moment in time, 23 minutes on the clock, Hibs will be very happy with the way they've started this game. They're keeping control of the ball in spells, but they're being dangerous on the attack. That's the main thing. Now it's up to Rangers. Can they break them down? Can they make something happen?
It's a game that's been about returns. Michael Beale's return to Rangers as Rangers get a free kick here. Foul on Ryan Kent. Beale's return to Rangers, but also Kevin Nisbet's return to Hibs. And it's Nisbet who's feeling better about things on the return today than Beale so far. Rangers take the free kick short. Glenn Kamara, the former Arsenal man, 5 yards outside the penalty area. Good ball to Devine. Can take a touch, can look up, swings an out-swinging cross which is headed away by Paul Hanlon. And then Rangers win it back on the edge of the Hibs penalty area, but only briefly as Catton puts the boot in it and sends it long and away and out for a throw in near the halfway line.
Devine's done really well on this left-hand side. Considering he's a full-back on the right-hand side to play on this left, he's actually taken on his full-back, and for such a young age he's willing to use his left foot to cross the ball into the box. He's done well so far. Yeah,
they have got a few left-backs ahead of him in the pecking order. Obviously Borna Barisic has been part of the furniture in recent times. He's back next week after World Cup duty. Ridvan Yilmaz, recovering from injury, can play left back too. So Adam Devine has had to be patient to get this chance, and he'll want to impress. So far he's looked good, coming forward at least. As Cadden has possession of the back for Hibs, confidently grooves his way beyond Sakala. Sakala didn't like how he did that and had a tug, and free kick to Hibs just inside their own half. Bit of frustration there for Rangers. Porteous takes the free kick way too quickly. He was hoping Yuan could run onto it. Yuan, to be fair to, puts the hand up and gives the thumbs up and says good idea, but not the best execution from Ryan Porteous, trying to be clever with the free kick there.
You see, it's something that they've obviously worked on in their try. You see it for the second goal. It's a long ball between the two centre halves. Nisbet gets onto it. Porteous, one thought in his mind, can I play it in behind the back four? It's been a problem so far. The 2 goals that Rangers have always conceded, defensive errors, that's where they're targeting.
Yeah, without quite a number of regular defenders at the moment, Rangers do look to be struggling in that department, and we know we've been praising Devine going forward. We know Tavernier loves to go forward, but those central defenders, James Sands and John Lundstrom, they can look isolated, and certainly that was taken advantage of for the second goal.
Well, you think from Lee Johnson's point of view, if you're sitting in the changing room and you're looking at the team lineups and you see Lundstrom at the back, a midfielder, you're going to target it.
Yeah, let's go for it. Ben Davies is on the bench this evening. There's no Connor Goldson. We mentioned Barisic and Yilmaz. There's no Philip Helander. There's no John Suter. I mean, there's a lot of defenders missing for Rangers at the moment. As, the ball is hooked on by Sakala. Sakala, who scored the 1 goal that Rangers have got in this first half, but 2-1 they trail. 25 minutes now on the clock, as Cabrera tries to come forward on the left-hand side. He's played in all but one of Hibs league games so far this season. Gets it down to the byline where Yuan feels he's done enough to win a corner, and he has. Corner to Hibs on the left-hand side, and Rangers, who want to attack, are being forced to drag players back into the penalty area to defend again.
Yeah, I mean, Ewan does well again down that left-hand side, in behind Tavernier. They're coming here with no fear. They're opening up. They're trying to play football, and it's working for them.
So we'll come back to this after the corner, but I think there's going to be a trend of that, you know. A lot of teams have had a break, and some are going to react to it better than others. Corner, in-swinger, goalkeeper with both hands punches it away. Alan McGregor at the front post, got good distance on it. However, Hibs can come again. Right-footed cross, flicked on by Yuan, straight to the arms of the goalkeeper this time, and McGregor is able to hold on to it. But I think we'll see this. We'll see it in the Premier League. We'll see it across the big leagues in Europe. This break, some teams will be really refreshed and new ideas and fresh thoughts, and others will have gone stale, and it'll be, you know, there'll be a lot of think pieces on this, I think, in the coming weeks. Who's had a good World Cup break? Who's reacted to it the better?
Exactly. Well, you think about it from a Hibs point of view. They were on a poor run of form. The breaks came at an excellent time, so they're refreshed, energised, ready to go, and we're seeing that tonight.
Yeah, World Cup break couldn't have come at a better time for Hibs, having lost 6 out of 7 games, but they've had a breather. They look refreshed here, and they're playing very well. Good defending by Joe Newell, who tracked back a long way there to get back goal side and to force the ball out for a goal kick, just to usher it away. Goal kick for Hibs, who still lead 2-1 here, and a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
Because we were laughing before the game, obviously, at Lee Johnson, his interview before the match, and he didn't really sound too enthusiastic about the game, but his teams came out and put on a show. I mean, they're full of energy. They're raring to go in this game.
Yeah, he was keeping it all inside. Well, it's been a good start. Let's see if Hibs can build on this now, and can they keep the lead intact at least until half-time. By the way, during the break we'll hear from Ollie Robinson with Jonathan Agnew ahead of the test on Saturday. And of course all the build-up to the World Cup final continues across BBC Sport and 5 Live all the way between now and Sunday. Here is Yuan on the halfway line, tries to skip his way around the defender there, and he does well against Ryan Jack, and now a chance to shoot, and it clips the outside of the net. Powerful shot Was it McGuinness? And that had the goalkeeper McGregor worried. It ruffled the net, but it hit the outside of the side netting.
Yeah, I think it was Campbell there. Porteous picks up the ball in midfield. Again, first thought, can I play it forward to that left-hand side? Campbell makes a good run off the centre halves. It's a great strike with his left foot. He hits the outside of the netting, but this is a problem for Rangers. Every time Hibs go on the attack, they're playing forward, they're catching them out. It's a real problem for this Rangers team tonight.
Enjoyable game so far. It feels like two sets of players who've been sitting on the couch at home watching the World Cup games and just like coiled springs have been dying to get back out there. The ball has really fizzed around on this cold night in Glasgow at Ibrox. Header away on the edge of the penalty area by Hanlon, doesn't go very far. Back into the mix by Ryan Jack. Morelos tries to spin onto it. Hanlon with his face running towards his own net managed just to flick it away from Morelos, and Hibs have been able to clear their lines. And does the ball go to play there? It didn't. Tavernier's been able to keep it in play on the far side, but Rangers don't hold on to it. Eli Yuan, who's been busy in the match so far, unable to keep it in play right up against the chalk of the touchline, and Rangers get the throw in and they take it quickly.
I think Rangers have to be real careful. I mean, they're leaving 2 for 2 at times at the back with lots of space in behind the fullbacks.
And Rocky Bashiri just alert to make sure that Morelos can't get onto it on the edge of the penalty area. Nothing fancy for the defender, just calmly side foots the ball out of play. Didn't want to risk giving it away there. Throw into Rangers, 2-1 down. The teenager Adam Devine throws it onto the chest of Morelos, who gives it back to Devine. Back to Morelos once again, midway inside the Hibs half. Rangers playing from right to left as we look down. John Lundstrom, nice ball to Tavernier on the right hand side, but immediately shut down by Yuan at the cost of a corner to Rangers on the right hand side.
They're working really well, this Hibs team. They know they can get at this Rangers team. They're pushing every man forward, but defensively very sound.
Tavernier has placed it right in front of the visiting Hibs fans. Sends in an out swinger, which is headed away at the front post by Kevin Nisbet, back helping out the defence. All hands on deck for Hibs, as they're pretty much all inside their final third here. Camera, low ball to the feet of Malik Tillman, back out to the right hand side. Chance for Kent to swing in across. Lovely footwork from Kent. Now needs to deliver well, but after a great build up, the cross was weak and tame and cleared away, but Hibs can't fully clear their lines. Here's Sakala, similar left-sided position from where he scored early in the match, but this time he can't get around Hanlon. Sakala did well to hold on to possession down by the byline. He's kept it alive. Back to James Sands. Rangers have been brave here. They're pushing a lot of players forward. Sands remains up in the attack. Sliding tackle comes in on him by Josh Campbell, but he can't wrestle possession back for Hibs. This is Ryan Jack, side of goal, but he didn't fancy it. Well outside the penalty area. Keeps it alive out to Tavernier on the right hand side. Here comes the delivery, too close to the keeper, and David Marshall falls on the ball, and a sigh of relief from Hibs. And that was about as consistent a spell of attacking as we've seen from Rangers in the opening half hour of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Michael Beale will want to see. Yes, the ball is moving side to side, but it's moving with pace. You've got runners going forward. It works the ball out towards Tavernier. It's actually a really good ball into a dangerous area, the 6-yard box. He's looking for Morelos to make that cross the front post run, but he wasn't there, unfortunately.
Rangers 1, Hibs 2. Michael Beale's first game in charge has been lively and eventful. We mentioned that 2-2 game earlier on in the season between these two in Edinburgh. And this might even be more eventful. And we haven't even reached half-time yet. Lundstrom with another one of these long-range, very accurate passes out of defence to pick out Devine on the left-hand side. He's got the support of Ryan Jack. Played through Ryan Kent to Devine again. Low right-footed ball into the penalty area is clever. Tillman tries to turn, but he turns into trouble. And Rocky Bashiri stood firm, and Hibs clear it away. Rangers are playing better now, but Hibs are hanging on. Yeah,
it was much better. Lundstrom head up, zings a ball out to Devine out here on this left-hand side, and they work the ball well. Tillman just can't get a shot off.
This is Sakala in the penalty area. Important touch by Hanlon as Sakala tried to lay it off. Ryan Jack now, right corner angle. Chance to drill in across from Sakala, which flashed, I think, through the gloves of the goalkeeper. It was close to brushing against the crossbar. That's how close to the goal it was. But it flashed all the way through and out for a throw-in. Throw-in for Rangers, right full-back position for them. Still 2-1 to Hibs.
Yeah.
Throw-in to Hibs, my apologies.
It almost looked like a shot cross from Sakala there. I don't think anybody was getting their head on that, but again, they're working the ball well. I really think Rangers have to be careful. They're literally throwing everybody forward apart from the two centre halves.
Yeah, there is a chance they get cut out. There certainly is. Ryan Kent on the left-hand side here. Michael Beale's team are certainly showing ambition here, but you can see this is not how they thought this was going to go tonight. They've no doubt they've been rocked by the manner in which Hibs have got the 2 goals. Devine, 5 or 6 yards outside the penalty area, left-hand side. Tillman goes down, challenged from behind, free kick to Rangers. Promising position. There's probably a bit too tight for a shot, but very good crossing position on the left-hand side. Yeah, perfect position here. You'd expect Tavernier to swing one in. Tillman does well. He uses his body, his big frame. He holds the ball up, gets the foul. They need to make this count. I mean, we're edging towards half-time here. They need something positive to keep this side going. So Tavernier's come across, always involved in Rangers set pieces. Ryan Kent is standing there too as a left-footed option, but you would imagine Tavernier is going to swing this into that corridor of uncertainty between the goalkeeper David Marshall and his defenders who are holding a line along the penalty spot. It's a good delivery in. Bashiri gets his head to it. Nearly fell for Sakala. Back out to Tavernier on the left-hand side for Rangers, and Kent here will deliver a goal. That's a good delivery. Defenders were struggling to get up. Morelos went down. Rangers fans screaming for a penalty, but nothing doing with the referee, and Nick Walsh didn't give it a second view. Oh, poor ball out of defence there. Maybe a chance for a counter-attack for Hibs, but Tillman's worked really hard to win it back again for Rangers. It's a game that's been played at a high tempo right from the get-go, and Rangers are really pulling up their sleeves now and getting stuck in. Rangers 1, Hibs 2 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Yeah, I thought it was a great ball into the box from Ryan Kent. It looked like Hanlon had a grab of Morelos. I was wondering if they were maybe going to look at it again. They obviously haven't, but play continued. But it's good possession from Rangers now. They're kind of trying to turn up the heat a little bit, but Hibs are there. 10 minutes to half time. Ryan Kent has it midway inside the Hibs half. Again, Devine is available with the copper colour hair on the left hand side. He gives it in low to the feet of Sakala, corner edge of the area, hounded by Chris Cadden, forced to go deeper back into the midfield. Lundstrom is so high up the field that Rangers are playing, as Alan Hutton's been illustrating earlier on, and this is absolutely crying out for Hibs to launch a counter-attack at some stage if the passing isn't just right from Rangers. Jack to Kent to Sakala, and he's given away. It was a clever idea. It was an inward run coming from Devine, and he tried to play it into his path, but the ball is cleared away. Throw it for Rangers. Kamrat takes it quickly down to Morelos, to the ball, and tries a nutmeg on Joe Newell, and the ball goes out of play for a corner. He actually does really well there, Morelos, to get the corner. I thought he'd lost it. He didn't really use his body enough to hold the ball up, but he done well eventually. So dangerous position here. Tavernier looking to whip one into that 6-yard box. They've not had too many of these attacking set pieces tonight, Rangers. Tavernier with a huge expectant crowd of Rangers fans directly behind him, plays the corner short to Ryan Kent. That's a good ball. Camera space in the penalty area, gets the shot in. However, Cadden got the block. Just for a moment, Hibs had fallen asleep in terms of their defensive duties. Camera shouldn't have been given that sort of space. Good hustling by Ryan Kent to keep the ball alive. He was caught late. Play on, says the referee. Tillman in the penalty area. Back to Tavernier. Shot is charged down. It might sit up again for James Sands here, just outside the penalty area. No question there was a foul on Ryan Kent there, but he had done so well, and Rangers still had possession, that the referee clearly waved play on. In the end, Hibs were able to clear it away, but a poor clearance goes straight to Lundstrom. And Hibs have had a bad last 5 minutes. When they win the ball, they immediately give it away. There's no retention from Lee Johnson's team at the moment. They have it back now with one of the goal scorers, Kevin Nisbet. Good ball, cleverly left by McGuinness, knowing that Cadden was in behind him. Hibs come over the halfway line on the right hand side. Cadden with the yellow boots. Rangers trying to get it back immediately. Cadden eventually falls to his feet and the ball goes out of play, but he'd been fouled. Referee is coming across and he's going to show a yellow card. Now this is the breakdown in play since the tackle on Ryan Kent, and this is the first time the ball had gone dead. Good memory from the referee Nick Walsh to come across, and he's shown McGuinness a yellow card for that. I think McGuinness is a lucky boy there. I think Kent does well just to shift the ball, and he flies into a tackle. He does come back and book him, but wow. That was a naughty one. It felt very, very reckless, and all done at such high speed. McGuinness is shown yellow. 2-1 to Hibs and Ibrox. Let's go back to the Emirates. Sahel Sahi watching Arsenal women against Lyon in the Champions League.
Yeah, still 0-0 here. Connor still waiting for the game to spark into life. If the opening game between these two sides ended Lyon 1, Arsenal 5, we need a few of those goals this evening here at the Emirates. Still goalless between Arsenal and Lyon.
Thanks, Sahel. Yeah, this game has certainly sparked into life. It had done right from the get-go. Portier scored after 8 minutes. Sakala equalised after 15. Nisbet scored after 60. And I don't even think there was a full minute between those second and third goals in the game. It is a testament, Alan Hutton, to how good the match is that we haven't been whinging about the cold weather. I've already noticed the cold. The football has been so entertaining.
Yeah, spot on. I haven't even bothered about the cold, to be quite honest. There's been fireworks on the pitch, so cannot complain.
Just to, this isn't me sort of being a softie from Limerick coming to Glasgow compared with the cold. Even our esteemed colleague Roddy Forsyth has. He's, and I quote, mountaineer silk thermals on. So, it's not just, it really is cold. They reckon it could be down to -8, something like that tonight in Glasgow. Every time we speak, there's a fog in front of our microphones. But yes, a game that has just made everyone really warm, glow and happy that domestic top-flight football is back after the World Cup break. Camara tries to attack down the left-hand side. Good alert defending it. The ball is put out of play by McGuinness. Throw into Rangers. No time to waste. Devine plays ball boy himself. Gets it back again from Ryan Jack. In field now to Kent. 1-2 with Morales has worked. Kent is in here. Pulls it back from the left-hand side, but too many green shirt defenders in front of him, and it's blocked out for a corner. Corner to Rangers, who still trail 2-1. 5 minutes to the break.
This is what Rangers can do when they quicken up the play. It's a lovely 1-2 between Kent and Morelos. Morelos is absolutely raging in the 6-yard box. He feels Kent should be able to pick him out, and so do I. The defender gets a good block on it.
So Tavernier to take the corner. He's come across to the left-hand side as Rangers come forward. That's not a great delivery. Didn't seem to have much of a long run up there. And he played it in low, and it was comfortably cleared away in a few groans. I guess we've had 40 minutes now of Michael Beale's era in charge of Rangers. Alan Hutton, what have you noticed? What positives will he be taking? What will he want to improve on?
He's one thing in his mind, and let's attack, let's go forward, make something happen. But that being said, you leave space at the back.
Cadden just gets there ahead of Sakala. It feels a bit like a cup game, doesn't it? It's like we're behind, we must score or we're going out. It's got that kind of feel to it. Little Maradona around the world from Kamara on the edge of the penalty area. Sakala with another trick. Turns back at himself, tries to shoot, but Cadden did well, stood his ground. Here's Lundstrom, shot on target. Saved by the goalkeeper David Marshall. Chance. It's been a really busy first half here, but it remains Rangers 1, Hibs 2.
Yeah, I was just laughing there when you said about it feels like a cup final. It feels like the last minute of a cup final. That's exactly what it feels like. But yeah, Rangers are recycling the ball well. They're trying to make things happen. Lundstrom from distance, he's got that ability, but very comfortable for Marshall.
They've all been watching too much knockout football in the World Cup in recent weeks. These players, they're going hell for leather like the Moroccans at the moment. Are Rangers trying to get back into this game? They've had some good touches. There's no doubt, the patterns are good. I mean, that is classic curse of the commentator there. When you literally say they've had some good touches. Fashion Sakala, in the rest of his professional career, will never have a worse touch than that, and the ball goes out of play. But you know what I mean. The patterns have been good. They are creating chances, and any little switch off from Hibs, and you can see Rangers getting goals in this game.
Yeah, of course, they're definitely up for it. You can see their patterns of play. They're trying to make things happen.
Here comes Campbell, though, trying to make things happen for Hibs. Gets it through to Ella Yuan. Chance of a shot. Good save, McGregor. Diving backwards, spreading his body, saving with his legs, and that was always the risk. We mentioned in the commentary, with Rangers being so gung-ho, there is the opportunity for Hibs to spring counter-attacks like that, and Ella Yuan will be disappointed not to have scored.
It's a real problem. Rangers are, as you put it, that gung-ho, they're leaving space in behind. I mean, Campbell just picks up the ball, he just plays a little pass between the two centre-halves, which at this moment in time looks like a weak spot for Rangers, and Ewan's in on goal. Al McGregor rushes out, closes down the angle, does well to save, but it's a problem.
Sakala called for it, long ball through, but out comes the keeper Marshall and gathers it in front of Fashion Sakala, who tonight has got his second goal of the season, the Zambian international. His only other one before tonight came against St Mirren in October. Took it very well onto his left boot, drilled low into the far bottom corner. But the goals from Hibs have been taken even better tonight. Porteous springing like a salmon, I think you described it at the time, Alan. It was a brilliant leap to head in the corner, and then Nisbet with a superb shot. And at the moment, this is supposed to be Michael Beale's night, first game in charge of Rangers. The story tonight is Kevin Nisbet, ACL injury in February, back for the first time tonight and getting a goal in his return.
And you know what, sometimes it takes a long time for players to get back from an injury like that, months in fact, but he looks up for it, he looks ready, full of energy, he's closing down, and he's got his goal. So all that hard work that he's had to put in, it's worth it now.
Yeah, and he mightn't even been playing tonight had Martin Boyle not been injured. Sometimes the door of opportunity has to open for a player. As Ryan Kent is challenged by Nisbet, who's made the challenge here on the edge of his own penalty area, and now a chance to break. 4-on-3 if they're quick enough here, Hibs. Is this the right choice? Through the middle with Josh Campbell, good defending. Ryan Jack got back. There were other options there. Hibs tried to come through the centre, and Ryan Jack, much to the relief of Rangers fans, is able to shut that down.
Yeah, I think initially Nisbet maybe took the wrong option there. I think it was Ewan maybe made a run in behind Tavernier if he could just pick his head up and see him, but Jack covers well.
Poor pass there though by Ryan Jack. You'll hear the groans from the Ibrox crowd, and then in turn Chris Cadden gives it away. High turnover of possession at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Hibs 2. 5 live for the BBC and BBC Sounds. We're into the final minute of the regulation 45. I wonder if, like the World Cup, they're going to add on loads now. Are the officials going to have World Cup notions and we get 6 or 7 minutes to be added on here? Somehow I doubt it in these temperatures.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy watching at the World Cup plus 10 minutes. Yeah. If I was still playing, I'd be absolutely raging with that.
It's like having to play another half by the time you had the two games on at either end. Here is Lindstrom, gets to the edge of the penalty area that Rangers are attacking down the left hand side. This is as far up the field as Lindstrom has been today, and he's gone too far up the field because when he got the return pass from Devine, he was in an offside position, and that is a free kick to Hibs, who are set to go into the changing rooms at half time in front here at Ibrox.
I think the biggest thing out of this that Michael Beale will be thinking is, you're in the hot seat, it's your first competitive game, you do not get time. It's quite simple as that. I mean, you can hear the groans from the fans. Yes, good football going forward. Defensively, have been struggling this first 45.
4 minutes to be added on, which feels longer than it would have been pre-World. I mean, it's not as long as a World Cup time added on, but it feels longer than it. I can't remember any serious delays in this game. I think they are opting just slightly on the long side here, the officials at Ibrox tonight, which Rangers won't mind because they would love to get a goal back. Now Morelos is involved in a bit of pushing with Rocky Bushiri. He challenged Chris Cadden forcefully. Cadden is down, Bushiri came across, and it was like locking antlers, the two of them together, and teammates were quickly in to separate. To be fair to Morelos, he didn't lose his cool or anything, he sort of very much stood firm. All the same, it was a little moment of friction, and the referee is calling them over to have a chat. So while that gets sorted out, there's a goal at the Emirates. Arsenal women against Lyon in the Champions League. Sahil Sahi.
And Lyon have taken the lead with a minute to go in the first half. Arsenal 0, Lyon 1. It was a free kick which wasn't cleared. It seems to have taken a deflection off an Arsenal player, so it's an own goal. Arsenal 0, Lyon 1.
Thanks very much, Sahil. So in the Women's Champions League tonight, Bayern Munich have won, Juventus have won, Barcelona are winning, but Arsenal find themselves behind at the Emirates here at Ibrox. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Glenn Kamara has got it, gives it to Adam Devine, who should be more like a left winger really than a left back in this game. Such has been the ambition of Rangers in attack, but they trail. Here's Ryan Kent, 12 yards outside the penalty area, to Tavernier on the right hand side. Sells a dummy that he was going to cross it, sends it in low now to Jack, tiptoes his way into the penalty area, shoots but couldn't get it on target. Good defending by Cabrera, and the ball goes out of play for a goal kick to Hibs, who, you got to credit their defence. They've been under a lot of pressure here. There is not many shots that have gone through on target to David Marshall.
Yeah, defensively they can be very happy. I mean, they just drop back into shape, they make it difficult. They know that Rangers are trying to find Kent in that number 10 position, and everything's really kind of condensed into the midfield. So they've got Porteous in there who's working ever so hard. When the ball goes out wide, they're putting balls into the box, but Hibs are thinking, well, we'll deal with that. We can deal with these cross balls. So they'll be very happy going into half time.
Scottish Premiership resuming after the World Cup break, and Morelos takes advantage of some hesitant defending, and he shoots, and it's blocked out for a corner. Well, I don't know, the ball came back off the advertising board and has been kicked into the net, but it clearly went wide. It's going to be a Rangers corner. They've got the time to take it. Morelos there with a shot which I wonder how much it would have troubled Marshall had it not been deflected off the defender. But that's the first time that he's been able to see the white of the goalkeeper's eyes tonight.
Yeah, I think that's going to affect Marshall in goal. It's a great run, great pass. It's going across Marshall, and Bashiri just gets a foot on it, knocks it out.
Tavernier's been asked to wait and not take the kick yet. Referee is marshalling some pushing and shoving in the middle. Here it comes from Tavernier. Headed not fully clear, maybe Kamara might fancy it on the edge of the area, slips it to his left hand side and off target. James Sands, who's never scored for Rangers, goes for the speculative effort and he hits it very far off target.
He's 30 yards out, on his left, leaning back, almost falling over, and decides to have a shot, and yes, high and wide.
Yes, it was not the opportune moment for young James Sands, the American on loan from New York FC, to grab his first Rangers goal. But you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle.
Also true.
Yeah, Alan Hutton, who's struck a few speculative shots in his career.
Yeah, into the crowd. You're right.
With a similar outcome to that one. As the whistle goes for the break, right, half-time at Ibrox, boos is the sound at the end of the first 45 minutes of Michael Beale's tenure in charge of the club. He was never going to be completely plain sailing. It's never quite as simple as you hope. But Michael Beale will have been surprised at quite how effective Hibs were, coming off that run of 6 defeats in 7 games in the build-up to the World Cup break. But they've looked refreshed, Alan Hutton. They probably, will feel every right to say they deserve to be in front of the break here.
Absolutely. I mean, from their point of view, 2 very good goals. And it looks to be a bit of the game plan. They know Rangers are going to come out all attack. There's going to be spaces in behind, and they're finding them with quality. So Hibs have done really well. Lee Johnson will be very happy. Michael Beale has got a big 15 minutes ahead of him now.
He does. They've got into the warmth of the changing rooms, and Rangers need some fresh ideas for the second half. It's going to be intriguing to see if Hibs can hold on to this lead. For the moment, Rangers 1, Hibs 2.
Hey Alan, World Cup, World Schmuck.
Well, we'll see how the second half goes, but wow, I mean, what an opening game. Goals, action, everything happening. I don't even feel the cold anymore.
Roddy, we started the night talking about Michael Beale. We might end it talking about Kevin Nisbet.
Yes, indeed, and that leads me on to something that Connor was saying when he remarked that this game looked like a cup match. Now, it resembles a cup match that I can remember from just over a year ago. I don't know if you actually saw it, Alan Hutton, but if you go to the Scottish League Cup semi-final last season, that was when Van Bronckhorst had just been appointed. He watched that game from the stand. Hibs had 3 shots on target in the whole game, and they scored with every one of them. And yet the player who did that is not here tonight. That was Martin Boyle. And in this particular occasion, Hibs have had 4 shots on targets and scored with 2 of them. So there's a reminiscence about last year's blow for Rangers. Mind you, Van Bronckhorst took the comfort of getting them to a European final after that. But nevertheless, in domestic terms, that was a blow for Rangers. And it would be a serious blow tonight, because don't forget, with Celtic playing on Saturday, if Rangers lose the points tonight, then they could go, 12 points behind Celtic by Saturday mid-afternoon. That would be a very serious blow to Michael Beale. But as you say, great for Lee Johnson.
Roddy, Alan, Connor, thank you very much for the time being. Yeah, Lee Johnson really pulled the wool over our eyes, didn't he? We heard him before the game, sounded down in the dumps. His team have been right up for it. Let's take you to the Emirates, because we should have had the half-time whistle, but it looks like, sadly, we've got a serious injury, Sahel.
Yeah, we're just a couple of seconds away from half-time here, Steve. It's Arsenal 0, Lyon 1. Arsenal just going behind to an own goal. It came off Freedom Manum, but Vivian Miedema has picked up what looks to be a real serious left knee injury. She was just on her own inside the centre circle, trying to challenge for the ball. No one touched her, and she went down, buckled under her own left knee. She's just been stretchered off. We're a matter of seconds away, and as she was coming off, Beth Mead was there on the sidelines as well, who's the partner of Vivian Miedema. She's out injured as well, which we all know about. So sad news for Arsenal. The half-time whistle has been blown. They're behind by a goal to 0. But more importantly, Vivian Miedema, it seems to be a nasty injury, Steve. Arsenal 0, Lyon 1.
Yeah, really sorry pictures them. Sahel, thank you very much indeed. We will let you know when that half-time whistle goes. We've got a second half commentary on the way from Ibrox as well, of course, and shortly we're going to be inside the England cricket camp. We'll be in Karachi to hear from correspondent Jonathan Agnew as he chats to one or two of the players ahead of the 3rd test. England, of course, already leading 2-0. We'll do all of that after the latest news on 5 Live with Matthew Bunn.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live. Thanks, Steve. Nurses in England, Wales and Northern Ireland have finished their first day of industrial action. It was the biggest day of strikes in the NHS's history in nursing terms. The Royal College of Nursing is asking for a 19% pay rise, which the government and Labour say is unaffordable. These nurses were on a picket line in Liverpool.
Heartbreaking, really heartbreaking. An awful decision. But this is what the government have forced us to do. They won't listen, so we need to shout for our NHS now.
Short staffing, low pay. Patient safety, all the wards are short.
There's not enough of us no more to do the job that we need. We need more resources to keep our patients safe.
The Scottish Government has announced tax rises for the highest earners in a bid to raise money for the NHS. The Deputy First Minister John Swinney confirmed an extra penny in the pound will be added to both the higher and top rates of income tax, meaning the highest earners in Scotland will pay more than the rest of the UK. The Bank of England's raised interest rates to 3.5% to try to control inflation. It's the highest rates have been in 14 years. Police have named all 4 boys who died after falling through ice into a frozen lake in the West Midlands at the weekend. They include 2 brothers, Finlay and Samuel Butler, who were 8 and 6 years old. Pharmacists will now be able to give alternative forms of penicillin to patients to help treat strep A infections because of a temporary supply issue of the antibiotic. It's after a rise in demand for the medicine because of an out-of-season increase in the illness. And Prince Harry has claimed his relationship with the royal family deteriorated after Prince William screamed at him during a meeting. He's made the comments in his Netflix documentary. Buckingham Palace has not responded to any claims made in the series.
BBC 5 Live. The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022.
The final.
That was just wonderful! Absolutely sensational.
On Sunday afternoon at 3.
Argentina.
Messi lifting one of the greatest trophies in football. That's the picture we all want to see.
V France.
Brilliant footwork, still going, it's swerved across, and then it's put into the net. Mbappe causing a world of problems.
The FIFA World Cup, the final.
On 5 Live and BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport.
With Steve Crossman.
Really entertaining first half in our commentary game tonight as top flight football returns in Scotland. Rangers 1, Hibs 2. As it stands, Hibs on course to jump from 8th all the way up to 4th in the Scottish Premiership in the first game since the end of their World Cup break. It would also mean that Celtic would have the opportunity to go 12 points clear of Rangers. They face Aberdeen at 12:30 tomorrow. We'll bring you that one live on 5 Live Sport as well. Away from the football, England will be hoping for a series whitewash against Pakistan when the third test starts on Saturday morning. It's live on Sports Extra from 5 a.m. and that would be another piece of history for Ben Stokes' side. Pakistan have never lost 3 tests in a home series. In Karachi for us is cricket correspondent Jonathan Agnew.
Well, there's a busy atmosphere outside the hotel here in Karachi. We've got both sets of players staying here, the teams. We've got a lot of England supporters who are also staying here as well, looking forward to the match that, of course, starts in the early hours of Saturday. I've managed to find Alex Hartley as well. It all feels like it's building up nicely, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? There's a really nice feel to it here in this hotel, and we can see the teams coming in and out when they've been to training and golf and so. There's a team room just by the pool, and we can see all the England boys playing pool in there. And it's a really nice atmosphere, very calm.
So, the fact is, England 2 up. What are you hearing about the team? I mean, I wonder what possible changes they might make.
Yeah, I've not really heard all that much, but I'd love to see Rayan Ahmed play. I would love to see him play. I think you often take a youngster on tour to get them used to tour life and to training and around the squad. But because they're 2-0 up, I'd quite like to see him play. You know, we've seen so much of Jack Leach. I think he will still play. I think he has to still play. But whether or not you can get them both in, maybe instead of a Will Jacks, but then you still got to get Ben Foakes back in the team as well.
Yeah, I agree about Rayan. I mean, I don't see the point in bringing him. But particularly, England go to India next year, play 5 tests. They're still searching round for that little magic component in the spin compartment, aren't they? Why not play him here? You're going to learn more about him here than building for Leicestershire in the summer, aren't you?
Yeah, of course, and it's all about that bit between your teeth, and does he have it, and can they see it? Obviously, he's a leg spinning all-rounder as well, so he does offer a little bit more with the bat than somebody like Jack Leach does. But I think it would be a great opportunity to see him play, just to see what he's about, the skills that he has, and, you know, England will want to whitewash. They'll want to beat Pakistan 3-0, but they can still do that while giving somebody an opportunity.
Well, that's a spin department. The Sasimas have been so successful. I've been talking to Ollie Robinson It's interesting, a bit of insight. Virtually all the players not only have been ill, but actually numbers still are, and they've still been soldiering on, and he puts the success down to a really good team spirit.
I think the morale and the camaraderie that we've got in the groups at all-time high at the minute. I've never seen a team or a group of players like it, so I think it shows where we're at, and hopefully we can carry that on.
Does it help in a way that everyone's been struggling? I mean, you're kind of just all in it together.
Yeah, maybe it does. I think we're all moaning to each other, we're all listening to each other's sorrows, but I think the main thing is when we're on the park, we're all giving it as much as we've got, and so far it's worked out well.
And how much good has it done you, actually, to come here? Probably the hardest place to bowl what you do bowl, and to have done so well.
Yeah, it's a massive confidence booster for myself. Obviously, 12 months ago, I was struggling to even get on the park, so it's sort of a proud tour for me in the fact that my body's got through it, I've bowled well, and I've proved to the world almost that I can do it in any condition. So it's been not just for the team, but for myself, it's been a really good tour so far, and hopefully we can win 3-0 this week.
And when you look back to Hobart, which must have been a very low point for you personally, and then on to the West Indies tour, where things started to rebuild and so on. I mean, how do you look back at that last 12 months? And, I don't know, the learning process, I guess?
It's probably the toughest 12 months I've had as a professional cricketer. There was points when I didn't think I was going to play for England again or play cricket again. I kept coming back to full fitness and then getting an injury or illness and then another injury. There was a point, I think, sort of June time, where I thought I might have to look at what else I can do here. I don't think I'm going to be able to carry on playing cricket. So it's been tough, and there's been some dark days, but I think tours like this and series wins like this make it all worthwhile.
Well, I think it's really fascinating, Alex. Very honest. Actually, Robinson there saying that in June he wondered whether he still had a career in cricket. I mean, he's had a remarkable 12 months, really.
He has, and he got slated in Hobart, didn't he? As you said, the bowling coach outing him and him saying, well, we've had that honest conversation. It was just a case of, the media finding out and the general public. And it's always harsh on a player like that, but sometimes you need a bit of harsh reality, and I think he's come back stronger, he's come back fitter, he's bowling longer spells, he's bowling quicker, he's learnt that wobble ball, he learnt that within 2 weeks. He's a remarkable cricketer. I think he's so talented, and I'm just really pleased that he's got through that tough time, because England spoke about this Ollie Robinson for a long time before he played for England. He was tearing up county cricket. He got his opportunity and he's taken it.
Yeah. He does make bowling look incredibly simple, but it is surprising, isn't it, the way that England's seamers have been so successful here.
It is. I think it's good captaincy. It's brilliant captaincy. Ben Stokes could go down as one of the best captains ever for England, with the success that he's had in such a short space of time. But he's confident, he sets funky fields, and he backs his bowlers. He says, you tear in. There's been a huge difference between the two sides, hasn't there? 18 wickets falling to spin for Pakistan, and the spinners for England not really picking up any wickets. The seamers, you've got Jimmy Anderson at 40 years old, bowling and bowling and bowling. He hates to be rested. He won't want to miss this last test match. And then you've got Ollie Robinson just going through, his variations and doing them brilliantly.
Yeah, Jimmy Anderson back at number 2 in the world rankings too, which is remarkable at his age. So no actual team news here at the moment. There's a bit of conjecture going around. It's always interesting, isn't it, to get some ideas and thoughts about what England might do, and we should learn more about that tomorrow.
Our correspondent Jonathan Agnew and the team out in Karachi, and in the early hours of Saturday morning, 5 a.m, 5 Sports Extra, the third test. You'll be able to hear it with the TMS team. Other sports headlines: Fernando Santos has stepped down as manager of Portugal. He leaves after his side suffered a 1-0 quarter-final defeat to Morocco at the World Cup. Of course, his big success was winning Euro 2016. UEFA and FIFA have received significant backing in their battle to block the creation of a European Super League. This follows support from a report by the European Court of Justice. It had been claimed by the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus that the governing bodies were breaking competition law by threatening to sanction clubs and players who joined a breakaway league. And following the loss of his seat at Haas next season, Mick Schumacher will be the Mercedes reserve driver in 2023. Let's take you back to Ibrox. Second half commentary on the way. Rangers 1, Hibs 2. Conor McNamara and Alan Hutton there for us. Alan, right backs club for a second here. With Rangers, I always think that if James Tavernier is playing well, then Rangers will play well. But he's been oddly absent. I can't remember him being mentioned very much, and actually a lot of Hibs' best stuff has come down his side.
Yeah, you're absolutely bang on. When Tavernier plays well, Rangers do play well. He's getting himself high and wide, but I think he's too high and wide. He's too far forward, and that's given Hibs the chance to get into a defensive line and break the play up. And then it seems like a ploy that they're actually waiting for him to come forward, the two fullbacks, and then they're hitting the ball in behind. And you're right, a lot of the good action is coming down their left-hand side in behind Tavernier. It's something that they're going to have to sort out, because they're far too open defensively. They're leaving 2 for 2 at the back, and you can't go on like that. You're going to get punished at this level.
You obviously, every team needs their fans behind them, and there were a lot of groans in that first half from Rangers supporters, but actually was that less about the approach of the team and more about the fact that there were just some really sloppy passes from Rangers players?
Yeah, I think they look too eager to impress. That's what I take out of it. Everybody's running forward, everybody's trying to get involved, everybody wants the ball, which is all good, but they're forgetting about doing the simple things well also. And Michael Beale said in a lot of his press conferences that he wants to play in the front foot, he wants to be aggressive, but you have to be mindful at the back. We know they've got a lot of defensive injuries, but that's not good enough. You can't compete at a high level if you're going to defend that way. So, as I said before, that was a big 15-minute chat I think Michael Beale would have had there.
I can hear the music of the brilliant Frightened Rabbit in the background as the players come out onto the pitch. Hibs have been anything other than that. At them, you love that, Connor. Come on, don't you?
I was wondering where you're going with that, and you rescued that very well. I wouldn't praise you much, Steve, but that was good. Yeah, I like that.
Thanks for ruining it by talking over it. All yours.
I'll tell you, speaking of, I wouldn't quite go Frightened Rabbit, but you know, when the teams come out at the start, Michael Beale, and it's sort of, you know, taking the adulation of the crowd and the new manager and the huge display, which again Rangers fans are doing now. Over to our left, a completely different thing now. Banner across the middle, blue, red, flags been waved in the air. But he looked pristine, he looked relaxed, not a hair out of place, looked, you know, great. Going off, he was a shadow of his former self. The hair looked ruffled. He definitely got a bit more gaunt. He was paler. It's incredible what football management does to you. Literally in the space of 45 minutes, you go from looking like you could take on the world to suddenly feeling, I'm up against it here.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the pressure that comes with this job. He would have seen it with Steven Gerrard, but when you're a number 2, you don't have to deal with that. You're focusing on the training and different things, but when you're in that hot seat, you hear the crowd's not happy, you have to produce.
Right, back underway for the second period. Rangers 1, Hibs 2, no changes in personnel. Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, black and red socks, playing from left to right as we look down now. And Hibs in the green shirts with the white sleeves, white shorts and the green and white socks. And, you know, just looking over some of the stats at half-time, Hibs, they've come here to play and win. They had Rangers might have had most possession, but Hibs had the most shots on target in that first half, and of course they scored the most goals as well. Can they keep it up? Can they build on this now with an increasingly desperate Rangers to get an equaliser? Will that open up opportunities for Hibs to maybe extend their lead? First set piece of the second half, it's a Hibs free kick which is played in softly and gently towards the edge of the Rangers penalty area, and Morelos was able to clear it away, but then a little back heel by Paul Hanlon trying to get it back into the box, and Malik Tillman back there is able to head the ball away, and Cabrajo, who's the deepest lying defender, he's on alert for Hibs at the back. He plays the ball down the left-hand side, controls by Josh Campbell. Oh, he's done really well to flick it in field there, and Johan unable to take it with him. I don't think there was any real intent there to foul Lundstrom. He swung his leg trying to bring the ball with him in his stride. Lundstrom got in first, and Johan has fouled him. So yes, free kick to Rangers, but no further action from the referee, Nick Walsh.
Yeah, it was just a 50-50 tackle, wasn't it? The ball bounced up awkwardly for, obviously, Lundstrom. He's went for the ball, so has Johan. It's just one of those things in football, just a coming together. Lundstrom comes off second best.
Alan, I was very warm in the first, not warm, I didn't feel cold in the first half. I've stood up, I've lost my warm spot. I've now sat back down in the seat, and it doesn't feel, it feels like, you know, it's been empty up until this moment. I've done something wrong here, schoolboy.
Well, I know what you've done wrong is you've not brung your heated jacket.
Yeah, well, no, I did.
Have you got one on?
Yeah, I need a cushion.
Oh, you kept that quiet.
Oh, I tell you, I've literally just turned it on. That was the day. You don't want to waste that in the first half. You know, you don't feel the benefit.
That's true,
as they say. But yeah, very cold evening in Glasgow. Plenty of ice and snow on the pavements on the way in tonight. Big crowd inside this stadium with a capacity of over 50,000. Floodlights lit up to the complete illumination. Walking up to the ground, actually, all you could see was bellows of smoke from the kitchens and from the generators around the place, making this big stadium operate. Maybe a chance for Sakala, tries to get onto it, but good stretching by Hanlon on the edge of the penalty area. Just a little touch, but that's all it needed to guide it back to the goalkeeper Marshall, and he clears it long into the Rangers half, where Nesbitt draws the foul and wins the free kick for Hibs. So quickly the teams: McGregor, the goalkeeper for Rangers, Tavernier, Sands, Lundstrom and Devine of the back four, Camara and Jack in the middle of the midfield, Tillman and Kent supporting Sakala and Morelos in attack. And the free kick is going to be retaken, I think. It's just another free kick a few yards further forward here. Another opportunity for Rangers.
Yeah, Tillman just a little bit eager there on Chebraya. He kind of chops inside, not much in it. But I think that the previous play from Rangers was better. Tavernier gets head up early, found Sakala, didn't give Hibs that opportunity to get back into their shape. Need to do that more.
Marshall is the goalkeeper for Hibs. Bashiri and Hanlon at the back with Kirby and Catton as the full-backs. Porteous is sort of sitting in front of those two. McGuinness, Newell and Campbell in midfield. Yon and Nesbitt up front. Free kick is taken into the penalty area. Important header won by Tillman, who's one of the tallest Rangers players, but he hasn't cleared it away very far, and then Ewan tries to deliver it back into the middle and does well to win. A corner to Hibs in front of their supporters, who are in that corner of the ground, far side, over to the left from where we're sitting.
Rangers have to be really careful. I mean, Hibs, they're a big physical team. Like, they're looking to put balls into the box and keep giving away silly fouls and corners. They're going to get punished if they keep playing this way.
Joe Newell's gone across to place it. Referee needs eyes in the back of his head here. There's all sorts of potential spark moments as the players jostle for position. Hanlon's up there. Porteous is up there in the first half. If you weren't with us for commentary, Porteous got a brilliant header from a corner. This one's not a good delivery though, but Tillman's clearance is weak at the front post. Oh, and again, twice he's just put it straight up into the air. Rangers under pressure. Ball sits up in front of Nisbet, but he's got too many bodies in front of him, and in the end Campbell chips it straight to the arms of the Rangers keeper, and that's a let off for Rangers there, because Tillman twice made a real mess of clearing the corner away, but Hibs weren't able to capitalise.
Yeah, I think that's the argument with Tillman. Sometimes he looks that kind of lazy way. I mean, he just lashes at the ball twice and he puts his team under real pressure.
Just a touch from Sands, mopped up by Lundstrom, and Rangers have it back again and in defence with James Tavernier, who scored 4 goals in his last 5 games before the World Cup break. Tavernier, here is Ryan Jack near the centre circle, back again to James Sands, and now John Lundstrom, usually a midfielder, filling in due to a shortage of centre-backs for Rangers at the moment. Not ideal in Michael Beale's first game in charge. This is 5 Live for the BBC and BBC Sounds tonight at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Hibs 2. And Roddy mentioned, just as the teams made their way down the tunnel for the break, the implications if Rangers were to lose this, if Celtic were to win against Aberdeen, well, what is already a huge 9-point gap at the top of the table could become much worse. It could be up to 12 points by mid-afternoon. By the time that 3rd, 4th playoff game kicks off for the World Cup, this title race could look more distant than ever for Rangers. Here comes Morelos attacking the penalty area down the right hand side, tried to send a low cross. I think Tillman was his target. Bashiri did well, Yohan was back there, did well. Hibs have worked it well this evening. When they do lose possession, they get everyone, or pretty much everyone, back behind the ball. Nesbitt stayed forward on this occasion. Chance of a shot for Sakala. He was a long way out, and once again Hibs defender getting the body in the way, and they've done well on that. They've ensured that Rangers haven't had shots at target. Tavernier's done brilliantly here though, up against Brahaya into the penalty area again though. The cross is cut out at source. They've done that so well tonight in the Hibs defence. Just as Tavernier was trying to deliver it, immediately he was smothered. Rangers come again. Kent on the left-hand side. Now he delivers the cross. Marginally too high for Morelos. It flashed off the top of his head. He couldn't get it on target. Miscue of a clearance, and Hibs are making very hard work of getting this away. It's out for a Rangers throw.
Yeah, it's good play from Rangers. They've quickened it up, definitely. They're trying to get Tavernier on the ball, as we mentioned at half-time. But there's so many crosses coming into the box with no takers.
Sort of frantic feeling of the game is picked up from the first half. It's all very knockout football, as a poor pass by Ryan Kent brings more groans from the Rangers fans, and Hibs will clear the ball away up towards the halfway line. Chris Catton's heavy touch invites the challenge, and James Sands comes across and puts it out of play for a Hibs throw.
I mean, the Hibs at this moment in time are playing perfect counter-attack football. They're getting back into their shape, they're making it difficult, no space for Rangers to get in behind, and when they win the ball back, they're going forward with purpose. They're trying to make things happen, trying to get in behind this back four, because they know all the Rangers players are going forward at this moment in time.
This is a chance for Hibs in the attack. Yuan breaking into the penalty area left-hand side. Lundstrom with a really good injection of pace to keep up with him, and once there was a heavy touch, Lundstrom could sprint in and nip it away, and he neat and tidily rolls it back to the goalkeeper, who clears away down the other end. Rangers 1, Hibs 2. We have seen a few second half of the season comebacks from teams who would have been trailing to get back to the top of the table in recent times, but Rangers in danger of making this gulf so big now. That will not be possible for Michael Beale. I mean, there certainly is a chance. You win tonight, Aberdeen do a favour the weekend, and suddenly Michael Beale will feel he's got a bit of momentum in this battle in the Scottish Premiership. Sakala does well to get there ahead of Cabrera. Still has the ball, Sakala. He's run from the touch on the right-hand side into the centre circle. Defenders hanging out of him, but he keeps it alive out to Devine, who's got Kent with him in support. Kent, too clever for his own good there. He was jinking and dummying, and he was all the rest of it, dancing over the ball, and the defender was able to nip in. I think it was McGuinness, and cleared the ball away. Rangers come again, camera on the left-hand side. First time from Kent this time, that's better. To Devine, now the left foot across, hangs it to Morelos, saved by Marshall, and they can't follow up the second time. Best chance for Rangers since the goal they've scored. It was at the goalkeeper, but David Marshall still had to save it from point-blank range. Very good reactions from the 37-year-old. And Hibs hold on to their lead just.
They certainly do. It's a great overlapping run from young Devine. He just chips one into the 6-yard box, and Morelos is on it. First time, I think, they've won ahead on the 6-yard box. They need to do that more.
Yeah, it was a good cross from Devine, and it very nearly paid the dividends. Here's the latest delivery. Bashiri wins into the back for Hibs. Back out to Tavernier. Brilliant delivery in again. But Bashiri with a header again inside his own 6-yard box. Tavernier gets a third chance, and this one's not so good, is it? It's for a minute I thought it was going to dip, but it sails over the crossbar, and it goes out for a goal kick to Hibs. And Rangers still banging on the door for what they're hoping would be their second equaliser of the evening, but for the moment they trail. Rangers 1, Hibs 2.
I was actually just going to say before the Devine cross that he made a great overlapping run, and Kent lost the ball. Hibs were on the attack. He's making great forward runs. When he sees that and Kent comes in the pitch, can he lay it off to his left, allow Devine to do that overlapping run, because they're getting joy out of it. Do it more.
It's a penny for Michael Beale's thoughts on his first game in charge. Took over from Giovanni van Bronckhorst. He's been in the role for over 2 weeks now. He's been waiting for this moment to finally get to see his team on the pitch. He'll have a little bit more time with them than you would expect for a manager taking over mid-season on the training ground. But they've come up against a very determined Hibs team this evening, who've took their chances at one end and crucially are battling to deny Rangers chances at the other. Header won by Yuan. He's done very well there against Tavernier. Flicked to one side of him and ran around the other, and now Yuan to within 10 yards of the byline. Pulls it back just in front of Nesbitt. I think Nesbitt thought that was going to Josh Campbell. He wasn't fully committed after it. And Kevin Nesbitt, who scored in the first half, just wasn't as committed as he might have been to getting onto that cross from Yuan, who had done brilliantly, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, Rangers get away with one there. Tavernier out-jumped, and then Yuan gets a great ball across the 6-yard box, but no takers just behind Nesbitt.
Here's Devine again, his first appearance of the season. Tries to send it in low, and it's cleared away. And it goes, it's actually kept in play for Camera to play it low into the penalty area. Tillman, first touch was good, second couldn't quite bring it with him, and Bashiri didn't want to take any chances. Rocky Bashiri puts it out for a corner to Rangers.
Rocky Bashiri's been a rock back there, isn't he? Everything, it's just like a magnet to him. He's just heading everything out, he's getting in the way. Defensively, very strong.
Yeah, he's got the build, hasn't he? And he stands firm, and he's certainly been very good in the air and in making blocks tonight. You can say that about a few of the Hibs defenders. As Rangers take this corner short, Tavernier eventually plays it in, but Porteous with a header that doesn't quite clear the penalty area. James Sands will pick it up for Rangers, and that's a good decision to give it to Kent on the left-hand side. Now, can he deliver? Runs to the corner angle of the area, cuts back at himself, rolls it in front of Camera now, to the byline, left-hand side, hangs it in. Sakala couldn't get up off the ground, and it comes off a defender for another corner to Rangers, this time on the right-hand side. We've played 12 minutes since the break.
Yeah, Rangers are trying to turn the screw a little bit, trying to make things happen from wide areas, but they need that number 9, that striker, to be going in, getting on the end of crosses. They just haven't got that at this moment.
Tavernier's delivery, headed by Tillman to the front post, and it's in! I don't think Tillman got the last touch on it, but he certainly headed it down. And many of the teammates run to him to celebrate. It might have been Ryan Jack on the goal line, but either way, Rangers back on level terms. Boy, they've had to work hard for that, but it's 2-2.
Yeah, they've had to work real hard. I think it's a good delivery from James Tavernier into a dangerous area. I think it's Tillman gets a flick on. He's obviously got that big presence in the box that we were talking about. He gets first contact. Ryan Jack is following in at the back post. David Marshall has no chance of getting. He slides in, puts the ball in the net. Game on.
His last goal came against Hearts at the very end of last season. Ryan Jack makes it 2-2 in this pulsating game, which we always felt had more goals to come. Now, how are Hibs going to respond to this? Remember, when Rangers made it 1-1 in the first half, Hibs regained the lead within a minute. But Marshall, not much he could do there. Tillman's header down right in front of the goalkeeper, and Jack sliding in, 12 inches in front of the keeper. Nothing Marshall could do.
Yeah, but that's what you're looking for. I mean, Tillman, he's a great size. You want him to go and get flick-ons and get his head onto things from corners. That's exactly what he does. We've seen it against Leverkusen when he scored the goal. He gets his head, first contact, and Ryan Jack's doing what every real striker should do, follow things in.
This is the 21st time in his career that he's played against Hibs. Ryan Jack, it is the first time he has ever scored against tonight's opponents. Tavernier to take a throw in. A more upbeat mood around here now.
Well, it's amazing how things can change in 10-15 minutes. I mean, the crowd are right behind them. Not that they weren't before, they were just unhappy with the way and the way it was going and what they were seeing, but Rangers have turned up a notch.
Yeah, Rangers have had so much possession throughout the game, but now they've got their second goal. 2-2 on 5 Live, and a yellow card has just been shown. I think that's to Porteous, challenge on the edge of his own penalty area. Free kick in what might even be a shooting position for Rangers. So having come from 1-0 down to make it 1-1 and 2-1 down to make it 2-2, can Rangers take the lead in the game for the first time under Michael Beale?
Yeah, well, you're looking at James Tavernier. It's definitely within his range. Is he going to dink up to the back post? I think he's going to go for a shot here, possibly.
At the moment, Ryan Jack is unmarked to the back post. I can't imagine Hibs won't spot that by the time it's taken. Hibs are erecting a wall, 4-man wall, as David Marshall gets the angles right. And this is close to the corner angle of the penalty area, but a couple of paces infield. Tavernier's got to be at the very least tempted here.
He's got previous
to try
from an outrageous angle further, probably about 10-15 yards back towards the byline from where he is, and he put one in the top corner.
So let's see, he's standing over it with Ryan Kent. Tavernier straining his neck, making the calculations in his brain. 2-2, and here he comes, and he does shoot, but it's an easy one for the goalkeeper, right into David Marshall's chest. We gave him the big build-up, Alan, he let us down there.
Yeah, well, at least he hit the target. I mean, I always thought he was going to have a shot and goal, but Marshall's too wise for that. He gets his wall up well, covers his post, easy catch for him.
I mean, Steve mentioned at half-time you're a fully paid-up member of the Right Backs Union, but James Tavernier's goal-scoring record is insane.
It's incredible.
I mean, Cafu didn't score that many goals from right back. It really, when you look at his numbers over the years, and I know he takes penalties and whatnot, but so many goals.
To be fair, over the years, I mean, obviously I always get asked, being a previous right back at Rangers, I mean, to have his numbers is honestly incredible. I mean, that's striker's numbers, to be quite honest with you, and he produces year on year on year. That's the thing.
Well, Rangers enjoying a lot of attacking pressure at the moment. Hibs struggling to clear their lines. Ryan Jack, scorer of the second for the home side. Oh, Morelos, that was genius. Sold to dummy there so that the ball would roll through to Tavernier, whose cross into the centre is ultimately headed away by Paul Hanlon. Very clever by Morelos there, who just stepped away, knowing that would fool the defender, and the ball ran into the path of his teammate. Very, very South American from Morelos.
Yeah, it was a great move. Just a little step over, but I think Tavernier should have played it back to him.
Another chance into the penalty area. Tillman turns the defender, tees it up for Morelos. 3-2! 5-goal thriller at Ibrox, and for the first time under new coach Michael Beale, Rangers celebrate being in front in a competitive game. Tillman did brilliantly there, and it's Alfredo Morelos, the striker they hope will be reborn under the new coach, who gets the goal to make it 3-2.
Yeah, it's another amazing goal, and I think this is what Rangers do when they quicken up the play. Tavernier gets the ball out his feet, plays it into Tillman. He's just got that awareness to just pull it back inside the pitch, lay it on a plate. Morelos, he is never going to finish that. We'll see if this sparks him into life. I think he was needing a goal. You could see the emotion pouring out of him and his celebration, but wonderful move from Rangers when they quicken up the play. This is what they can do to teams.
So Sakala in the first half, Jack and Morelos in very quick succession in the second period. Rangers 3, Hibs 2. And we said it was a big half-time team talk from Michael Beale. Whatever he's done, whatever he said, it's worked. He's kept cooled heads. He's got them to believe that if they keep plugging away, there hasn't been any major shift in tactics that I can see, but they've just trusted the process here, and eventually Hibs have cracked.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's what he would have been telling the players at half-time. Stick to our beliefs, keep continuing to do what we do best, move the ball about quickly, and we've seen that when they've speeded the play up, they've affected Hibs, they've moved that defence round about, and they've got in behind them time after time.
So what will Lee Johnson be thinking of this? A 1-0 lead, a 2-1 lead, and now Hibs find themselves trailing 3-2, coming off the run of 6 defeats in 7 games before the World Cup break. This will be crushing because they played well tonight if they are to lose here. But the Rangers fans who've had to sit on their hands for much of the evening are now the buoyant ones, and it's much more quiet over in that Hibs corner at the moment. Stephen Davis getting ready to come on for Rangers. We haven't had a substitution in the game so far. Pass way too far in front of Chris Cadden. It's almost an adjustment Hibs have to make now. From all-out defence, they've got to try to come on the attack again, and it'll be interesting to see if they pull that off.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, they were sitting in a comfortable position. They were quite happy to sit back in their defensive shape. Now, if they want anything out this game, they're going to have to come out and make something happen. And Michael Beale, they've went up. Now he must feel that he needs more control in that midfield. Stephen Davis gives you that. He'll get on the ball, he'll tick things over, play the simple pass, but keep control of the ball, and I think that's what they need.
So Fashion Sakala is the player who goes off, one of the goal scorers tonight, and taking off a forward to bring on a very experienced midfielder. Stephen Davis, who turns 38 on New Year's Day, comes on. He's only had 3 league starts this season, but Michael Beale clearly realising that he can be a very important part of this Rangers squad. 3-2 here at Ibrox. Let's go back to the Emirates. Arsenal women against Lyon in the Champions League. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, where it's Arsenal 0, Lyon 1. Connor, Arsenal much better in this second half. Katie McCabe has come the closest. A right foot shot inside the area, but she had no power on it. But much better from Arsenal in this second half. But they trail Lyon by a goal to 0.
Thanks very much, Sahel. So the Rangers goals in this second half. Ryan Jack scored in the 58th minute. Morelos scored in the 62nd. So in the space of 4 minutes, Rangers went from being 2-1 down to 3-2 in front. And it's a very buoyant Ibrox now. Stephen Davis slipping in between the 2 central defenders. There's a confidence about them. They're springing up on their step now, the Rangers players. And this is where I'd imagine Hibs are going to find it hard to suck the oxygen into the lungs. They'll feel the burn on these legs that haven't had a competitive game in over a month. This could be a long final 25-30 minutes for the Hibs players.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Michael Beale would have been saying.
Devine, ball into the penalty area. Tillman just couldn't get there. Hibs clear it away.
Saying at half-time, continue to move the ball about. This team will get tired. We talk about possession stats, and it's not the be-all and end-all, but the other team are going to get tired. They're chasing about, they're harrying, they're trying to hold that defensive line. Rangers stick to the process, and that's exactly what they've done, and they've scored the goals that they need so far.
66 minutes on the clock. Davis at the heart of everything now since coming on. This is Cameron the left wing, back into Jack, now to Devine. Nice intricate build up, and then it breaks down as Hibs fail to clear the ball away again. Cameron infield to Davis, long sleeves and the gloves, gives it short to John Lundstrom. Again, they're playing so high up the field, as they have done right from the get-go, and I wonder, will this be the regular tactic now from Michael Beale? Will he always be this forefront? It'll be certainly analysed by opposition coaches if he does. There's a good timed sliding tackle from Ryan Jack, puts the ball out of play for a Hibs throw.
I think it will be the way moving forward, but there's going to be certain games that you can't be all-out attack. I mean, they are at Ibrox tonight, so you're going to have more of the ball. There's going to be times where you're going to have to be more defensively sound, because as we've seen with the goals that they've conceded, they've been wide open at times. It's probably something that he's going to have to work on in the coming weeks.
Change being prepared for Hibs. Elias Melkersen, the Norwegian, is getting ready to come on, so they're going to bring on another forward. I wonder if it will be Kevin Nesbitt who makes way on this, his first appearance since the bad ACL injury back in February. It will be quite the ask, you'd imagine, to try and get the full 90 minutes out of him tonight. But if you're just joining our coverage here on 5 Live, he did score in the first half, and a very well taken goal as well. It's not Nesbitt who comes off, it'll be Kyle McGuinness who makes way. So they take off a midfielder to bring on a forward. Mind you, Elias Melkersen hasn't scored in the league yet this season.
No, but it tells you what he's thinking, that he's wanting to get back into this game. So it's good for us watching, want to be even more open. So he's obviously taking a roll of the dice. He wants to try and get back into this.
Melkersen, who couldn't look more Norwegian if he tried. He's got the white headband on, he's got the blonde hair.
Thinking it's tropical weather tonight.
Yeah, he's on his summer holidays here. He put on the sun cream compared to what it's like in Norway, absolutely. So anyway, fresh legs up top for Hibs in a game that they played very well in, and well, there might still be a sting in the tail. Attacking down the left hand side, that's worked out well. Devine involved to Morelos. Tillman in the penalty area, left hand side. Bashiri goes out to try and close him down, and he's done well shielding here. Tillman's battling and hustling, and Bashiri is refusing to budge as they bash into each other a few times. The ball's still alive here. Both players ended up on the deck, but the referee didn't blow the whistle. Rangers have it with Ryan Kent. Tight angle, short to camera. 1-2 returned. Kent to the byline, pulls it back. Oh, Morelos slipped. Davis shoots. Looked like it might have struck an arm, but it wasn't an arm that was raised. And the defender gets away with it as Hibs clear away. That could have been another goal for Morelos, but he just lost his footing as he prepared to pull the trigger.
It's a great move. You know Ryan Kent's going to try and cut and chop and get other side of the defender. He lays it on a plate for Morelos, and he's just standing foot just goes away from him. Whether he's got the mouldies on or the studs, he just slips, but Davis follows in. Could have hit an arm. We didn't really see the replay.
They've had a little VAR review here, but check complete and no further action necessary. And I think it did strike. I haven't seen the replay, but at the time I thought it did strike an arm, but that the arm was down by the side. VAR, which is all still very new in Scotland, of course, only came in October, and there is no goal line technology yet in Scotland, I believe, in the Premiership. It's the VAR as we know it for the big penalty decisions and the offsides and stuff like that, but
we're
not
getting
for
there.
The goal line. Getting there,
we're getting
there. Yeah. From Little Acorns and all that, as Adam Devine comes up, maybe you can get there and make it work, which would be brilliant, rather than jumping in. As here's a chance for Rangers again. Ryan Kent shot on target, but straight at David Marshall, who makes the save. Rangers looking for this fourth goal of the night to give them a 2-goal lead of a cushion, and to give Michael Beale a victory in his first game in charge. His coaching CV very impressive. We've mentioned this a few times tonight here at Rangers under Stephen Gerrard as the assistant. He's coached at Chelsea, he's coached at Liverpool, and he had a coaching spell in Brazil with Sao Paulo, which I think just shows great ambition for him to even want to go and do that, to be able to convince them to give him the job. I mean, in Brazil, how many coaches want to coach at that club? So he's done his homework. He's a confident guy, and Rangers are hoping that he's now ready to bring them on to better things.
I think it just shows you the mindset of him, that he's willing to go to another country, experience a different culture and learn. Yeah. The most important thing is learn about different players, and you think when he's talking about recruitment, he's been far and wide, so it's obviously better for him.
Absolutely. Well, he's stuck to his principles in this game, despite Hibs twice having the lead, and Rangers now hoping that they'll be able to see it through, leading 3-2 as they do at the moment. There's just a delay in play for an injury near the halfway line. But I think it's going to be that Michael Beale in charge of Rangers is going to be certainly entertaining. He's got that style of play that it makes it very difficult to take your eyes off the game. I mean, this is the first break in play we've had in the match, because it's just been end to end. The way they play allows the opponent's counter and means that they attack a lot themselves.
Yeah, it's a basketball game, isn't it? I mean, your emotions week to week, if it's going to be a 5-4 or a 4-3 or whatever, is going to be all over the place. But John Lundstrom looks like he's definitely got a sore one there. It's like a 50-50 tackle with you in there, and it looked like he tried to jump up out the way and he's just caught him in his midsection. Looks like a bit of a sore one, maybe in the ribs there.
As anyone who plays 5 Live football on AstroTurf knows, on a cold night you don't want that sort of collision and the medical staff are out and they're just making sure that John Lundstrom is okay. Players are taking advantage of the delay to come across, and they're like a herd of cattle here. When they come together to have a drink, the steam rises off them. You can see at the World Cup the sort of saturated wet shirts of perspiration sticking to the players. Here is a very different atmosphere in sub-zero Glasgow, but the steam bellowing off these athletes as they come over to get a drink.
Just as well I'm wearing a hat, or you would see it sitting next to you.
It's Rangers 3, Hibs 2. There's just over a quarter of an hour of normal time to go. John Lundstrom is still being worked on back there. While we've got the break in play here, let's snip back to the Emirates for an update from Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, 20 minutes to play here, Connor. Still Arsenal 0, Lyon 1. That goal coming just before half-time. It was an own goal of Frida Manum, and also Vivian Miedemar came off injured, stretchered off. She buckled under her own left knee. She came off in tears. It looks to be a real serious injury. Arsenal much better in this second half, but they still trail Lyon by a goal to 0.
Okay, that's going to be quite the story. We'll have more from Sahel and 5 Live later on. Arsenal fans will certainly be concerned at that news. We're just about to get back under play here at Ibrox. A reminder of what's coming up in the next few days. Saturday lunchtime, we'll bring you more Scottish Premiership action. Aberdeen host Celtic. It's the 12:30 game, live on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. That is followed by the World Cup 3rd, 4th place playoff at 3 o'clock. And then on to Sunday, where frankly there is only one show in town. Messi against Mbappe, 3 o'clock. The World Cup final you can listen to live here on 5 Live. As good little pounce there to try and win possession. Nearly word from Melkerson, but he couldn't bring it with him. Rangers regained possession and come on the counter-attack themselves. Morelos to the right-hand side to Malik Tillman, who's had a much better second half than first half. He had a lot of ball in the first half, but he wasn't able to do things with it. Second half, you could just tell the confidence brimming from him.
Yeah, definitely.
Look at him here, selling a dummy and going around the fullback and getting to the byline and swinging in the cross and nearly picking out Ryan Kent in the centre. Hibs haven't got it away, and it pops into the arms of David Marshall. It's all Rangers at the moment.
Yeah, all Rangers is one-way traffic. Tillman does well again, using his strength. And he's so clever at times, and this is why I think some Rangers fans get frustrated with him, because this second half he's been excellent. The first half not so much, couldn't really get involved. They want to see more, they want him to be more consistent. If he can play at this level, this is the reason why he was at Bayern Munich.
Yeah, this Vivian Miedema injury, if you're not a follower of the women's game, she is one of the best players in the world. I'm told that former Arsenal player Danielle Van Donk has told DAZN that the injury looked bad and she wouldn't wish it on anyone. And we will see if there is any further story on that. But that is one of the top performers of the women's game, who appears to have picked up a serious injury tonight. And we'll wish her the very best. And hopefully it's not as bad as early indications are suggesting it might be. Quarter of an hour to go at Ibrox. Rangers 3, Hibs 2. Ball is played by Stephen Davis, who's just brought a calming influence to the midfield. It's all neat and tidy and keeping it moving. In a game that was almost a little bit ragged in its enthusiasm, he's brought a bit of sense and sensibility.
Yeah, well, that's exactly why Michael Beale brought him on. He trusts him to go on and do that job there, just to calm everything down, get on the ball, just tick it over, make things happen, just play the easy ball, and just take the sting out of the game.
140 international caps for Stephen Davis, such an experienced player. Here's Tillman just outside the D, lays it into the penalty area. Adam Devine, on his first appearance of the season, just couldn't get enough room for a shot. Swarmed by defenders, Hibs were able to get it away. Tillman again, 10 yards outside the penalty area, central location, scoops it out to the right hand side. Everything's flashy now with Tillman, who's clearly enjoying himself. Cameron gets it off Tavernier, can't play it into the penalty area, and really Hibs are treading water at the moment. I mean, they are barely able to clear their lines here. They certainly can't hold on to the ball as Rangers come at them again. Morelos outside the penalty area, veering from left to right. Davis to the left wing again, to Ryan Kent, penalty area, Devine, chance of the front post is just away off target. Rangers so close to getting their fourth, but Tillman put it wide.
Yeah, it's really unlucky. I think Devine's really played well down that left hand side. Even though he's a right footer, he's a willing runner, cuts the ball back, and that man Tillman, second half, he's been outstanding, getting into a dangerous area. He just can't quite hook it back round, but unlucky.
Rangers 3, Hibs 2. If it stays like this, Rangers go up to 36 points, and they will be a little bit closer to Celtic by the time Celtic kick off against Aberdeen at the weekend. Aberdeen, who are currently in third. Now, Aidan McGeady, who's not been able to get his season underway at all due to injuries. Knowsley Johnson from Sunderland, he's about to come on.
This will be an interesting reception, I think.
I was going to say, for the former Celtic man who will never be popular around these parts. He enjoyed many days of battle against Rangers in green and white hoops in the past. He's about to come on in green and white at Ibrox, but not until after this Rangers attack, which Morelos is trying to keep alive down the left-hand side. He's done well into Tillman. Tillman took his eye off it for just a moment, and Ella Yuan was able to nip in. I've been impressed with Yuan tonight. It's not been easy up front for Hibs, but he has battled for everything. He's very athletic, and he's one of those, a bit like the Moroccan players last night. You think he's lost it, and he hasn't. Suddenly those spidery legs are able to stretch a bit further and hold on to the ball.
Yeah, he's got a great work ethic. I mean, he works ever so hard for the team. When you know that they're not going to have a lot of the possession, he's a willing runner as well. He'll go in behind, he'll make things difficult for defences. But when you've got not much possession of the football, it's always going to be difficult for him.
So 12 minutes of normal time to play. There could still be a sting in the tail if Rangers aren't careful. And they would really love this insulation goal now to make things less stressful to the finish. Do Hibs have another second wind in them? Lundstrom on the halfway line gives it to Tavernier. Tillman and Morelos have been so much more lively in attack. Morelos clearly relishing the fact he's gone on the score sheet tonight. That's lovely footwork from Ryan Kent into his shooting position, and then he blazes it over the bar. He did everything right until the shot, and the shot was terrible, but much promise about how he got in that position in the first place.
Membrans don't hold back. The shot was terrible. But that Ryan Kent, that's what he wants. Obviously Michael Beale wants him coming in the pitch. He wants him to try and make things happen. He's got great feet. He understands what's round about him. He drops the shoulder, comes inside the pitch, but finish, as you say, wasn't great.
All right, the booze will tell you that Aidan McGeady is on, and he's taken the place of Kevin Nisbet, who, well, it's a great story for him tonight. Scored against Rangers here at Ibrox last season and the season before. Injured in February, ACL. Tonight his first game back, and he's managed to get himself on the score sheet. At the time it felt like it might have been enough to bring Hibs towards a victory tonight, but you've got to credit how Rangers have got back in front here. McGeady is on his fresh legs, aging legs but fresh. He'll be 37 next birthday. Morelos really enjoying himself now, bossing the attack, trying to get onto a return ball from Tillman, and it's just about cut on. And these last gasp despairing challenges from the Hibs defenders are just thwarting Rangers time and time again. It feels only a matter of time before Rangers get in for a fourth goal of the night. They've got to throw in 10 yards on the corner flag down the right hand side. McGeady, who's playing behind Melkerson now. Melkerson isolated up top, but can Hibs, you're still feeling this game they'll get one more chance?
That's how it's going. I mean, yes, they're defensively strong and they're struggling to get out, but they'll be hoping for that one chance that they can get back into this game, and with Aidan McGeady, Melkerson on the pitch, they'll be hoping that comes true.
Stephen Davis using all his experience to shield the ball in by the corner flag, and he ends up winning a throw-in for his team. Into the last 10 minutes now. Rangers 3, Hibs 2, 5 live from the BBC. The higher percentage of Hibs goals this season have come in the second half of games. They had the lead at half-time here. They were 2-1 up. They haven't scored in the second half. Here is Ryan Kent, who's playing with the real team. Him and Tillman and Morelos, they've got a swagger about them now. Davis looking to play it towards the edge of the penalty area. Morelos cushioned it down, trying to land it into the path of Tillman. McGeady jumps, comes off his shoulder. Melkerson controls well and then gives the ball away. And this is the problem for Hibs. They work so hard to win the ball, and they hold on to it for mere seconds before Rangers get it back.
Yeah, I mean, obviously your energy levels are going to drop. It's difficult. It's the first game back after a long break, even though you've had a kind of mini pre-season, if you like. But this pitch is huge, and Rangers are using the space well. They're going from side to side with pace, and it's been difficult for this team. I mean, they've given their all, but Rangers at this moment in time are just showing their quality and their class, and as you say, the confidence is flowing at this moment in time.
Porteous and Nisbet with the goals for Hibs in the first half. Sakala, Jack and Morelos were the goals to put Rangers in front. It was 1-0 Hibs and it was 2-1 Hibs at various stages of the evening. Tavernier on the right hand side for Rangers gives it back to John Lundstrom. Now Stephen Davis on to young James Sands, and down the left hand side to Adam Devine, who's continuing to impress on this, his first league appearance of the season for the teenager. He did make his senior debut towards the back end of last season, played in 2 league games of the run-in. But this has been his first appearance since. Barisic still away in World Cup duty. Yilmaz unavailable due to injury. Here is Devine again, another cross on the byline, and out came the goalkeeper David Marshall to gather.
I've been really impressed with Devine down the left hand side. For one so young, to have the confidence to take on the opposite fullback and cross with their weaker foot has been really good to see.
Quite the record of Scottish fullbacks coming through. I mean, present company accepted, but in recent times, I mean, that has been the position, isn't it? You know, how many quality Scotland left backs and right backs. Here come Hibs through the middle, and Joe Newell was at full stretch, and Devine is the player who makes the interception and looks to clear it away. Now, can Tillman get to this before it goes out of play? Just getting there first was Cabrera. Infield to Newell once again. Short in the midfield to Porteous. Hibs have not been able to put 3 passes together in this second half, and good work from Kamara there to ensure that McGeady doesn't get a touch. Ryan Kent, wonderful. I'm tempted to say sort of flashy, but I don't mean it in a bad way. He's not doing anything simple, but he's very flamboyant down there, is Ryan Kent in this game.
Yeah, and you know what? The last time, obviously, Michael Beale and Steven Gerrard were here in charge, that's the way it was. You knew every time he got the ball, he had the confidence to take a player on, to try and go by someone, and he just dipped. When they left, his form just dipped. It looked like his confidence is gone, but it seems to be back at this moment because he's obviously had that arm round him from Michael Beale.
Yeah, and Ryan Kent, who came to prominence at Liverpool when Gerrard and Beale were working together with the underage teams there, and they spent a lot of money. Rangers did £7 million, which is one of the biggest fees that the club have ever paid for a player, to sign Ryan Kent. And Rangers fans hoping now that Michael Beale being back at the club is going to bring the best out of him. Hibs are about to make a triple substitution here, just to try and give one last burst at this. Lewis Stevenson is getting ready to come on, Ewan Henderson, and also Harry McCurdy, but they all have to wait as Rangers come on the attack. Breaks down on the edge of the penalty area. Josh Campbell, there'll be several tired Hibs players out there. There's quite a few contenders to be the 3 who go off here to allow the new men on. Cabrera holds his nerve, twists, turns, tries to play his way out of a tight corner. Not a great touch by Ewan. And now Tavernier will pick it up for Rangers once again. Hibs look ragged. Rangers look confident. Camera's got support outside him on the left-hand side with Devine. Back into the middle again and James Sands. And, well, this story, and I'm sure many of our written media colleagues sat around us, Alan, would have written up in the first half maybe a different story than the one that's going to go to print tomorrow, because this could have been different for Michael Beale and his first game in charge. However, the performance in the second half suggests that there is much to be positive about the new coach.
Yeah, definitely, and I think the challenge was then there for them at half time to go and prove, I said to you before, that Michael Beale will be assessing his squad all the time.
Here is Cameron, the penalty area. Tillman tees up Ryan Jack, and he's already on the score sheet, but this one from distance is not a great shot. I think he was concentrating so much on keeping it on target, he didn't want to blaze it over, and he did keep it down, but in doing so the compromise was to lose power, and it was a very tame effort and easily saved by David Marshall. Hibs have possession. They're still waiting for those 3 subs who are frozen down there waiting to come on, so they've all gone down little warm-up little jogs and stretches down there, because if you stand you would get very cold tonight in your shirt and your shorts down there. But ball hasn't gone out of play, and they must wait. Rangers 2, Hibs 3. 5 Live at BBC Sounds. That's pretty sums up Hibs night now. Cabrera launching it forward and putting it straight out of play for a goal kick, but the delay will allow the subs to come on.
We'll say that he meant that, to allow the subs to come on.
Well, blimey, Rangers are bringing on 3 subs at the same time too. This is not what you want. You've got to take the gloves off now, and you've got to try and work out what's happening here with the changes. This is like when they make changes in rugby, where you're trying to work out who's on the field. And we can certainly tell you that Lewis Stevenson, Ewan Henderson and Harry McCurdy have come on for Hibs, and coming on for Rangers, Scott Arfield and Ben Davis, another with Liverpool connections in the past, and also Scott Wright. So who's coming off? Kamara's coming off. Is it Tillman? I think Tillman's very, very, very slowly walking off, but he will be replaced, and so too young Adam Devine, who I'm sure will get a warm applause from the Rangers supporters.
Yeah, definitely. He's been outstanding tonight for one so young to go and play in a position that's not familiar. He can be very happy with his performance, and definitely one for the future. I think he's got an opportunity there to go and obviously put pressure on James Tavernier in the future.
Yes, so Rangers nearly there. Tillman, Devine and camera off, and Wright, Davis and Arfield coming on. So 2 Davises on the field now for Rangers, and Ben Davis, Stephen Davis. Hibs have possession. They gave it a good go tonight, Hibs, but there's not been much to suggest with 3 minutes to go that they've got some final trick up their sleeve.
Yeah, look, it's the last throw of the dice. You understand that there's only 3+ stoppage time left. They need to give it a go. They were looking tired. Lazy passes were kind of creeping in, so maybe this is an opportunity for them to go and try and make something happen in the dying moments.
McGeady showing some acceleration of hold up against Stephen Davis, and that's going to be a yellow card for Davis, who clips the ankles of the Republic of Ireland winger. And 2 of the old-timers in a sprint against each other there. And for a moment I thought, wow, McGeady's running really quickly, and then I realised, well, he's running up against Stephen Davis, who's even older than he is, which sort of put a bit of context on it. Scott Arfield gets his first touch since coming on. A header that doesn't have much distance to clear away. Melkison, edge of the area. Maybe a chance for a shot, but it's tame enough from Ewan Henderson, who's just come on. And it's straight down the middle and easily saved by Alan McGregor, the Rangers goalkeeper, who's the only man who's older than Messrs Davis and McGeady on the pitch. So Ewan Henderson, who had that shot there, has got 1 league goal this season, came against St Mirren in late October, got a few goals in the Scottish League Cup as well. And free kick given away by Lewis Stevenson, the defender who's just come on. Free kick to Rangers, 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm just watching Michael Beale there. He's having a word with James Tavernier, telling the back 4 to keep it tight. They obviously understand that they don't want to lose anything now, any points, so defensively stay strong. Don't worry about charging forward. That's not what they need at this moment in time. Just play the game out.
Rangers have possession on the halfway line. Michael Beale's first game in charge, on the verge of producing a first win for him in the job. And having had that 3-0 friendly win against Bayer Leverkusen at the weekend, if they hold on here for the 3-2 win tonight, I think Rangers will be in very good spirits for the next 2 games, which are both away. They travel to Aberdeen on Tuesday, and they're at Ross County next Friday. And Michael Beale's next home game in charge will be the visit of Motherwell. That's on the 28th of December, and his first Old Firm game in charge is after that, the visit of Celtic here to Ibrox on January the 2nd. Busy winter period for all teams, but you know, from having this 2 weeks of real quiet since taking charge, he is suddenly going to get very, very busy for Michael Beale. But that's the way he'll want it. Tavernier gives it to Kent, who's now playing at the right wing since the subs came on. Kent was caught late there by Lewis Stevenson, and the referee comes across, and is he reaching for his pocket? He is. Yellow card for Lewis Stevenson, who's only been on the pitch 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken Ryan Kent out there. He's always good at that. He can shift his weight and move away and drag a defender in. As we see, 5 minutes added on, so Rangers are just going to have to be strong and try and see this game out. I'm sure Hibs will throw everything at them at this moment in time.
Yeah, 5 minutes feels about right. There was that Lindstrom injury delay, so we mused at the end of the first half, were they going to get carried away by the influence of the World Cup and start adding on 10 minutes at the end of games and the resumption of the Scottish Premiership. I think we've got our answer there. It's back to what we're used to. The World Cup has been all fun, but this is the return of top flight football in the UK, the first top flight game to be played since that World Cup break. And in England, the Premier League will resume on Boxing Day. Before that, League Cup matches next week, and we'll be all over them on 5 Live games. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Manchester United play on Wednesday. They host Burnley, Vincent Kompany's Burnley. And a very big game on Thursday. Straight back into it for Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola. Manchester City against Liverpool in the League Cup 4th round. You can listen to commentary of that here on 5 Live. Into these 5 minutes of stoppages now. Rangers have it where they want it, on the attack down the right hand side. In a perfect world, Michael Beale would have a 4th goal tonight, but I think he'll be very satisfied with this as it is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he would have felt the pressure, I think, at half time, but the players have answered the call. They've given everything in this second half, and he'll be more calm. Of course, there's things that he can improve on and he want to improve on, but overall a lot of positives to take out the game.
Yeah, football management's hard enough. You want as well give yourself a good start and something to build on, and that appears to be what Michael Beale is on the verge of here. Hibs' next games, by the way, they have 2 home games back to back. They host Livingston on Christmas Eve, and then they host Celtic on the 28th. And they've got a derby coming up too. They play Hearts just into the new year. Late change for Rangers. Rabbi Matunda's going to come on. Beale's just running the clock down now. It'll be Morelos who'll come off, and I'll say he'll get a very warm reception here. Pretty much a standing ovation. They get to their feet around Ibrox to applaud the Colombian. He's had plenty headlines in games against Hibs over the years. He's let his shooting boots do the talking tonight. The goal from Alfredo Morelos at the moment looks set to be the match winner.
Yeah, definitely. He can be happy with his work, and I'm sure his manager will be happy with him. This is what we're used to seeing from him. Those kind of energetic displays, running the lines, making a nuisance of himself. And hopefully this can be a start for him. The goal can lead on to the building of the confidence and doing better on the pitch.
On a cold night in Glasgow, fans of Rangers are hoping that this will be an evening they will look back as maybe a turning point in their season. And they will be very interested in proceedings up in Aberdeen, what I'm sure will be another cold game of football on Saturday. And any slip up by Celtic at all in that, and Rangers will be thinking, here we go, we can get a bit of momentum and get a title race going in the second half of the season. Hibs battling on here, but could there be one last chance for Lee Johnson's team that would completely change the narrative? Can they spoil Michael Beale's evening? Porteous with an ambitious ball down the left-hand side, controlled in the instep by McGeady, but it shows too much of it to Tavernier. And Aidan McGeady making his first league appearance of the season. He's had injury problems since joining. His only matches have been in the League Cup. Very experienced player. Celtic, Everton, Sheffield Wednesday. In recent years he's been at Preston, Charlton and Sunderland, and he's on the ball at the moment. It's a good turn away from Ryan Kent, and a good delivery too from McGeady, and maybe a late chance, but the shot from Ewan is off his shin pad. I think it was skewed and it goes well off target. It goes so far wide it goes out for a throw.
Ryan Kent has to be really careful there. I mean, he absolutely sells himself. McGeady doesn't actually have to do anything because Ryan Kent is that aggressive and he ends up running right past him. It's a lovely floated ball into a dangerous area, and Ewan just can't make anything of it. But you need to stay switched on.
Yeah, we said they'd get one chance. Was that it for Hibs? Will they get a full bloodied attempted goal here? Just a little scare for Rangers, just to settle the nerves and to say, well, hang on, this isn't over yet. Calm everyone down a little bit. Rangers fans are ready to celebrate, but it's not done yet. Throw in to Hibs. Newell on the left-hand side, and his teammates all running in suggest that they know he can really launch this. Here he comes, number 11, Newell. Arches his back, doesn't quite get it into the penalty area. Stephen Davis is back there and he clears away, and Marshall comes sprinting out of his goal to take the throw in, which he hopes there'll be enough time, and he slipped. The goalkeeper came out, and I think as he tried to hurdle over the advertising board, he slightly stumbled more than slipped, and that gave the Rangers fans something to cheer about. It's almost all over. Maybe the last chance for Hibs. Marshall sends it down the middle, flicked on by Porteous. Melkerson can't control it. Davis does though. That's a nice calming ball to send it in front of Scott Wright on the left wing, and he'll now attack the Hibs penalty area. Rangers looking for the goal to thoroughly seal it, but good defending back there. And it's the final whistle from the referee, Nick Walsh. Michael Beale does get a win in his first game in charge of Rangers. Hibs have now lost 7 of their last 8, and the temperatures will raise on a cold night on Lee Johnson. Some awkward questions for him. A game that his team led 1-0 and 2-1 tonight at Ibrox, but they just came up against a more determined opponent this evening. Rangers now unbeaten in their last 16 Premiership meetings with Hibs. 5 goals and a thoroughly entertaining evening, Alan Hutton.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is what Michael Beale would have been dreaming about last night, is getting that W this evening. Exactly what it got. It was difficult in the first period. I thought Rangers were very open. Hibs played really well. They pounced when they had an opportunity, but I think they just ran out of legs in that second half, and the quality of Rangers came through with some real quality goals.
Rangers will celebrate. They will go out into the cold Glasgow air with Mariah Carey ringing in the background. It might be a happy Christmas after all for the blue side of Glasgow. Michael Beale has restored belief and confidence, and those are 2 very important attributes in the game. And top flight football's back, and back with a bang here. Rangers 3, Hibs 2.
Ronnie Forsyth, your view on Michael Beale's first 90 minutes in charge?
Well, we've used this cliche so often, that's why it's a cliche, but it was the classical game of 2 halves. Rangers didn't perform well in the first half. They were exploited, their forwards were exploited by Hibs, who clearly knew what they were doing. But in the second half, we talked about the importance of his half-time team talk, and I noted that Tillman's header for Ryan Jack's equaliser was the first header Rangers had won from a cross or a corner kick in the entire game. And after that, they began again and again to pick out players inside the box, although they don't have an orthodox target man to do that. And it was Tillman again who gave Morelos the chance to roll in. Morelos looked in the second half predatory again. This was much more the way Rangers fans like to see him. He was eager, he was playing off the shoulder, he was hustling, he was annoying the defenders. But above all, they had to see out their lead into full time, because the one thing that Michael Beale could not afford in his first game was to give Celtic any more leeway to advance their position, especially with a New Year's Old Firm derby rolling in sight. And he's done that. You can hear the Rangers fans, those of them that haven't scaffolded for their heated cars and buses, happy with the outcome, and I think in general he will be given credit for this.